We can do it. Check, check, mic check.
Ha 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 ha. Tell me what you want.
All right.
Damn, that looks really good.
No, dude, you're good at writing all the games down, man. You make it look all pretty.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of spider scrawl as I'm doing it, man. Just all
pretty.
You know, let me turn my backgrounds off. That way that's not fucking with my performance. Ooh, there's the record button right there.
So, Robinson. Oh, that's funny.
All
Okay,
right,
wait.
we are now officially live and recording. How's everybody doing out there?
Oh, dude.
hello, everybody.
So,
What's up, guys? Welcome to week. What are we in?
11.
86. Week 86 is starting to feel like that. We're getting to that point of the season where it's starting to. Yeah, it's. This is the
all
part where
kinda
you got
running together.
You really got to hold on here at this point, you know, like and stay in the game, and keep your head in the game.
I think it was the last 2 or 3 weeks that were like that. I think the people that are in it are like, okay, playoff time.
And,
You know?
well, the reason that I say that is because there's been so many buys over the last couple of weeks, and there's still some this week, but weeks 8, 9, and 10, and so for a lot of teams, at least in a lot of leagues that I've seen. A lot of teams have just been like, yeah, I was going to lose that week because they had so many buys, and they kind of check out, you know. And so you got to make sure that you check back in if you're one of those people.
Yeah, you got to win right now.
Yeah, it's go time. It's playoff time. It is the last week to make trades for most leagues,
Yes.
even in Dynasty.
Which is weird.
so it looks like we all got a shot to pay up, right?
Yep.
I forgot to get lemons this week.
Yeah, this is what I get for betting on Austin Eckler.
Dumbass.
Hey, Brian,
So-
why don't you let everybody know what we're drinking today?
Okay,
You got a good camera view.
I picked up a nice bottle of
Look at that
Maker's
bottle.
Mark.
Nice big
Yes.
bottle.
Dang,
Mark.
that is
on
literally
sale at Costco for anybody who cares.
And this is the stuff. Like Maker's Mark is awesome.
Absolutely.
It is my personal favorite whiskey. Like I order it all the time when I go to bars.
It's got
Makers
a good flavor
and
to it,
Makers
and
and
45% gives it a nice little kick.
Yeah, it's got a good kick.
So do you feel like this is your favorite shelf whiskey? Like, or is there like another top notch whiskey out there?
Oh yeah, there's definitely top notch.
Okay.
This is my favorite one to just like have all the time.
Gotcha. Which, you know,
It's
regular
because
guys,
it's reasonably
regular stuff.
priced.
Your drinking bottle, yeah.
So I'm taking my pay up shot for
Gentlemen.
having the worst picks, I guess. This
Okay.
week. Right.
And mine is for betting on Cooper on the road. Amari Cooper to score 13
Idiot.
points. Dumbass.
Here we go to week 11.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salute. All right, and with that, we are rolling. So let's move into the Homer Minute, and let's start with the somber Homer Minute. Why don't you tell us about what's going on over there in Ram's house?
Well, so I am not happy that Cooper's injured, but I'm happy that he's not playing. I don't want to really see him playing anymore. I want to see Sean McVay have to figure out a way to spread it out. I want to. Hopefully, we just take Wolford out and put Perkins. I think is his name, Bryce Perkins.
Oh yeah, I saw him. Yeah,
So-
he seems kind of gadgety though.
I'm hoping we give him a shot. I'm hoping we give our receiver. I think his name was McClutchin or McClowan or something like that. He did.
McCutcheon.
I think it's okay, McCutcheon. Yeah. And I'm hoping we give him a shot. I think it's safe to say that the Rams will miss the playoffs this season with all the injuries and whatnot that's going on. That's been riddling them.
It's going to be really tough.
And I'm actually I don't mind it. I kind of hope that Sean McVay's broadcasting offers kind of get pulled off the table. You know what I mean? Because of the
He's
season.
not hot stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Well, what about your season long bet with Brian for Robinson to get 10 touchdowns? Do you
I'll
think
probably have to pay that up.
Well, you don't think there's an increase in the likelihood of that happening now with Cooper Kupp being hurt?
So I still need him to do 8.
He's only at 2 still.
Yeah.
I
that's
still need him to
rough.
I
get 8.
got a good lead.
And it could get turned
That's a
around.
Bowmore?
He's getting a little bit. Yeah, he's getting a little bit more targeted. And he's getting a little bit more yards, but not like a significant amount. I could say he's getting twice as many targets, and it's still like 2 to 4 targets. You know what I mean? So there's that. My dad got offered Rams tickets, and he didn't tell me till after he declined them, and that would have been for last. That would have been last Sunday's game. So that was kind of a. I don't know if I would have moved, mountains around to go, but it was certainly something I would have considered. You know what I mean? Being that they were free tickets.
I would,
So
Dude, that's hard to pass up.
but
it's expensive to get into an NFL stadium these days.
but we are going up against New Orleans next week, so we could win that. I mean I think that's kind of like at this point it's just I'm going to pick them. Obviously,
Steelers did it.
But that's kind of a
Side
coin
note:
flip.
start the New Orleans defense this week.
You know what? Honestly, if you just look at the trend against the Rams aren't scoring offensively.
I started the
And
Cardinals defense
picking-
a lot, dude.
Picking the defense against the Rams every
They're actually
week might be a legit strategy.
It has been good. Like they
So-
are actually giving up the most points to opposing fantasy defenses.
And
this
they
year.
lost 2 offensive linemen
Again.
this
How
week.
did they have
Yes.
2 more to lose? I don't even understand
Yeah.
that. They are literally playing guys off the street now.
So I don't think
trouble.
it's a fair assessment to be like, and the argument of the draft picks versus the buying players versus draft picks because of the injuries. I don't think we really got good data on that strategy itself.
Didn't
Obviously,
we, though?
I mean, if you're in like the fourth string, fifth string, starting for you, I don't really think that's really a good data. And we've seen New England do it a lot over the past decade, I want to say. Not to the extreme of what the Rams were doing, but they certainly did trade off a lot of their draft picks to pick known players.
Because they had the quarterback to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I think that's it for my minute. I don't really have anything else on it. My thoughts on them.
Right on. Steelers, we won last week. Woohoo. TJ Watt is back. Oh my God, that guy's a stud. If you don't watch him play, like you're missing out. Like he is so freaking amazing. And changes our entire defense. If you didn't listen to us last week, listen to us now. Get the Steelers defense. They're gonna score points. As long as TJ's in there and we get Mika back soon, like
Yeah, they're that team you can kind of ignore what the matchup says right now.
Yeah, because even bad matchups, we're gonna get sacks. We're gonna get a certain amount. We got a baseline that's really nice for a defense. So, are we out of it? Probably. I mean, we have to make one heck of a run. And this is a homer minute. So speaking as a homer, it is possible with this defense coming back
you're talking
together.
about playoffs? You're thinking about playoffs right now? You're not. Can't we just focus on the little things? Give us a Kenny Pickett update.
Pickett. Pickett is.
Notice I said little things. He's got small hands.
I never look at his
Pickett,
hands.
like to me, he's coming along.
I think his hand size was measured smaller than Joe Burrow or something like that.
To me, right now, Pickett is similar to your assessment of Zach Wilson, in that he's got a ton of potential. He makes these really great plays. He does certain things really well, and then he'll just do something so boneheaded that you're just like, what? Wait, what was that? And I'm gonna attribute that to his rookie year, and that he's learning and growing, and I think he's gonna get better. And we'll see what happens.
So, the Cowboys pulled a conventional Cowboys and lost this last weekend, and it was a really frustrating game to watch because it was the turnovers. Like the Packers played a good enough game to be in position to win that game. Kudos to them, but the Cowboys just kept shooting themselves in the foot. And they were obviously the better team. They were the far more explosive team. Like they gave up a couple of plays, but it wasn't. They all of them were based on play action, and it was because the Packers, that their run game was effective because the Cowboys still need to figure out a way to stop the run. So I was a little surprised this week when the Eagles loaded up on defensive line and the Cowboys really haven't done much of anything to help bolster their defensive line. And they're the ones that are really struggling against the run, whereas the Eagles know they're getting Jamin Davis back in a few weeks and should be much better against the run at that point. But the interceptions by Dak. I was really annoyed with the receivers on those plays. CeeDee Lamb for not running a sharp route on the second one. And then the first one was just Dalton Schultz not pressuring the safety enough in order for CeeDee Lamb to have room in the middle. And both plays, because they were lazy routes, allowed the safety to come down and make the interception. And one of them was in the end zone and stopped the Cowboys from scoring. And they were up at the time. I think it was 7-0, and so they were about to go up 14-0, and it just completely changed the momentum of the game. And then the other one stopped another drive that was in Packers territory already. So they just need to. I don't know. They need to clean that stuff up. Is that Mike McCarthy? I don't know.
He slammed his headset down that game, didn't he? I think I saw that part.
Yeah, and so he was getting killed for the fourth down call, not kicking the field goal. But I
remember that now.
I personally, like, when I didn't think anything of it. I wouldn't have wanted to kick the field goal there. I probably would have punted, to be honest with you, because the Packers offense hadn't, it's not like they were picking the Cowboys defense apart. They were. They had, like I said, they had been successful on a couple of deep balls, but that was really their offense was, run, throw a deep pass. I think Aaron Rodgers threw less than 25 passes in that game.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I still feel fine with them going forward,
Yep.
Kind of just got to shake it off. And if, again, if you told me we're going to be going into week 11 at 6-3, I'd be like, sweet.
Right.
So,
but now the Packers lost it seemed like there was no way it could happen, like going in. Just like the way the Packers offense was operating, and the way the Dallas defense has been playing.
The Cowboys
just
really missed
shocked.
Zeke in this game because they seem to, like, Tony Pollard's just. He's not a ball control running back.
No, he's good at what he does, and that's getting the ball 12 times a game.
Mm-hmm. 12 to 15, and you can see that he's tired right now.
I was going to say, and then he's exhausted.
You can see, like, they really need Zeke to win these games, to close out games. They really need Zeke. Hopefully he's back this week. We don't know.
Sounds like it.
We don't know.
The things that I've heard make me lean towards he's going to play, but you never know.
Yeah. So anyway, man, a bunch of sad state of affairs for our Homer minutes, huh? Like I didn't get to,
I guess it was.
I won.
Huh? Yeah.
We should.
I was talking about playoffs over here.
Like, yeah, he's got it.
You stopped me from talking about playoffs.
Like I said, really nothing good going on in our Homer minute today. Are you guys ready to move on?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So we got first.
Let's see here. So our first matchup is going to be the Bears at the Atlanta Falcons. The Chicago Bears are at +3. Over under at 49.5. If you're betting on the Chicago Bears, you're at +135. And if you're betting on the Falcons, -155.
I can't believe the Bears are the underdog in this game. Yep,
That does seem strange.
Based on what they've been doing, what the Falcons have been doing. The Falcons struggled against, the Panthers. So
They've struggled a couple of weeks in a row here, from what I remember.
And the Bears have been putting up points on everybody.
Dude, they've been looking amazing.
Yeah, so
At least their offense has. I mean, they still lost last week. I mean, I think fantasy-wise, we look at it like, oh my God, they're kicking butt. But I honestly forgot. Oh yeah, they did lose though.
They did lose though. They're starting to look a little bit like the Lions from earlier in the year or at the end of last year,
putting up all kinds of fantasy numbers.
Yeah, it's looking real exciting, but they keep losing games. So, but at the same time, yeah, eventually they're gonna win one of these games. Yeah. They're gonna steal one of these games, and this seems like one that they can.
Oh, for sure.
You feel like the Falcons can steal this?
No, Bears.
I think the Falcons would have to steal it. In my opinion,
gotcha.
the Bears should be favorites in this game. I think the Bears are going to win this game. Big things to know.
Is this maybe because didn't the Falcons kind of overperform a little bit last week?
Any week that they score more than 10 points, they're overperforming, I think.
But like
Patterson had
extravagantly overperformed because I remember I want to say I was watching and I was like, this is kind of impressive.
No.
Who'd they play? I can't remember.
See?
See, yeah, honestly, I can't remember. All I remember is that Patterson had a bad game, and that was the only person I'd be willing to start on that team.
I think what you so it was
He
a weird.
said,
So it's a weird week. I think
I know
what
he
you guys
knows, he
what
just
you
didn't
guys
wanna
are
answer.
thinking of is their game against the Falcons, where they the game against the Falcons was close, and they lost.
They didn't even play last
in
week.
overtime.
I don't know what I was thinking.
They played Thursday night against the Panthers in that storm game. That really ugly game. The game
Right.
the game was horrendous. And no, I would not say that they played well. I didn't not say they played over the mark in that game. We all picked them to win, and they lost by double digits, I think.
Sounds right.
So,
Well, something I think we just glossed over was
So at least they're rested.
Justin Fields. Like, we have to talk about Justin Fields here. Like,
He
That's-
scored me like 40
when I said
He's amazing.
we know that the Bears are going to score points, what did you think I was talking about?
but this is a new enough thing that we have to throw it out there. You know what I mean? Like, we have to talk about this because
We're gonna be
Justin
talking
Fields,
about Justin Fields for a long time.
before 3 weeks ago, was trash.
Did I mention
Like, you
that
know
I
what
have
mean?
him in Dynasty?
Do you really? Yeah, I think you mentioned that last week.
I picked him up before the 40-point games.
Wait, he was on the waiver wire in Dynasty?
No, I traded for him. Like,
Oh, okay.
got
I was
him.
like, what?
I got him for like not even a 2023 pick, but a 2024 pick. So it just it felt like stealing.
Cool.
Yeah, it feels really good. So that's why now we're trying to buy players in Dynasty because I feel like we have a positional advantage at quarterback. I have Saquon Barkley.
And honestly, that's what I'm bringing this up for, is to let everybody know that Justin Fields, all of a sudden, if you haven't noticed,
He's a positional advantage at quarterback.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is a new
Like
phenomenon
we
that
are
need
we
to
are
point
now at the point where we are. Should I start Justin Fields or Josh Allen this week?
out. Right.
That's where we're at.
But keep in mind, it is for his legs. It is because he's averaging 150 yards or something ridiculous on the ground.
So?
And well, no, I'm just saying that like your
You know,
Darnell Mooney and
he's the-
and Claypool, like
I think he's
I'm
now
not putting a lot of stock in them.
Justin Fields is now top 10, and he might be top 5 in rushing yards this year.
Yeah.
Not just amongst quarter. I'm not talking about amongst quarter. I'm talking about in the NFL.
Yeah, it's way up
And
there.
over the last 4 weeks, he's number 2.
Yeah.
So are we
Behind
divided on
Derrick
this
Henry.
game, or are we all going Bears?
Oh, we're all going Bears.
Let me see.
I think I picked Bears a
I'm
lot
picking
this
the
season.
Bears. I
Yeah,
want.
I'm taking the Bears here.
The Bears are the more exciting team. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons won this game, but I'm going to pick the Bears to win. I like the Bears.
Exactly. This is to me, it's still a close game, but everything like leans on the Bears side. And honestly, Atlanta, like say fantasy wise, I mean, there's nothing you want to start except Patterson, and even then, it's
You're going to start Patterson. I think you should start Kyle Pitts.
really based on what? Like, I mean, he's done nothing this
You could
year.
get lucky.
Mariota's not
He's
throwing
not
the
that he's
ball.
like he's
and
not that he's done nothing. He's not.
had one game.
That's not even true. He's like he said he just in the Carolina game. The game we had 80 yards and a touchdown, I think, in the Thursday night game.
like-
I gotta look this one up.
He's like, I don't know. Anybody else?
Like I say, I remember.
So yeah, while
one
Brian
game.
looks that up, we can move on to the next game.
Do we want to move on? Okay. So next up, we have Panthers at the Ravens. Carolina's at plus
fantasy
13.
wise, he has had 3 double-digit games, and the rest were below 5. So that is more than I thought.
Oh, okay.
And it's a typical tight end. But
Yeah. So next up, we
but
have.
they're going to have to score points, and the Bears have been bad against tight end.
Sorry, go ahead, Ray.
No, it's fine. Next up, we have Carolina at the Ravens. Carolina is at plus 13. So the real question is, are they going to cover? The over-under is at 41.5. And if you're betting on the Panthers, it's at plus 490. And if you're betting on the Ravens, you are at minus 660.
And honestly, I would be betting on Carolina to cover the spread
Please don't- okay.
if Baker Mayfield was
Okay.
not playing.
There you go. There you go.
But with Baker in
I was
there,
like,
I'm
I
just
can't wait to slam him for Baker Mayfield being the quarterback and him trying to
They're
say
just
something
not gonna be
positive
able to
about the
score.
Panthers
Yeah.
this weekend. No way. Yeah, no, this is an ugly game. I don't want like any part of this game.
It
anywhere.
feels like a blowout. The line
gonna start-
says it's going to be a blowout.
You're gonna start Lamar Jackson. Like we're hoping that Mark Andrews is back this week and does some monstrous things.
All right.
'Cause
What about Gus Edwards? What do you do with Gus?
leave him on your bench? and wait for Kenyon Drake to get hurt.
But I'd imagine the people that still have him are like desperate to put him into, say, a flex. Like you think a flex is just out of the question this week?
I hope so. I'd hope you can find someone else on your waiver wire. Because there's plenty of options.
So you don't think he's going to get a dozen
I would rather
carries?
I would rather go start Jerick McKinnon.
Wow.
Jerick McKinnon has 2 consecutive games with 6 catches. And Juju has the concussion. I don't want to get too in the weeds on that game because we'll talk about that later. But I would no way I would want to start Gus Edwards this week.
So you don't think he's going to get 12 touches?
I'm not saying I have no idea how many touches he's going to get. I'm just saying I don't like I don't like it.
See, if he gets 12 touches this week, I think he's a good flex play. Now whether he gets that or not, very big question. I'm kind of on the fence on it. I don't know which way to go. Your insight is valuable, but I'm still like, but he could be good. But anyway, just throwing that out
Fantasy starters and sit 'em.
So far, the most effective running back for the Ravens this year has been Kenyon Drake. And he's, and the reason I want to stay away from it though is because the last time Gus Edwards was pronounced healthy, they came, even though Kenyon Drake was coming off of a game where he had 100+ yards and a touchdown, they still just immediately went to Gus. Mm-hmm. So I don't,
which I think they'll do again.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would much rather wait and see.
I figured it's worth discussing.
Another guy like Brian Robinson is available in a lot of leagues, and he's not still available.
is
He's
he?
available. He got
after
dropped.
last week.
He scored 14 points.
Okay, he scored 14 points, but he looked like, all of a sudden
I'm
the
with
offense
you.
is shifting towards this guy.
I'm with you. I'm just saying he's highly available. Like in ESPN,
like I say, that shocks me. I would think 30% leagues,
in Yahoo leagues, and in sleeper leagues, he's highly available. He's more than 30% available. So, I think you can still find him. I would much rather start him. Like they're playing Houston this week.
Oh, I would too. Yeah,
So,
I would too. I just didn't. I thought
I'd
that
rather
was a tier above
I'd
what
rather
we're talking
start
about.
Isaiah Pacheco.
I would too.
All those seem like guys that you could find.
But that's the tier that he's in, and he's a little bit. But I mean,
No, I agree. I agree
you're
with
starting,
you. So
I
completely agree with you that he's in that tier, and that's why I'm saying I would rather start these other guys because these other guys are going to get work. They've proven that they're going to do it, and Gus Edwards has come back healthy and left early. So, that's just where I'm at when a player has a season like that. It's kind of like how we were when we were waiting for Christian McCaffrey in 2020, and because he played 6 games in 2020, and they were just kind of scattered all over the place, and you were just like, as soon as he was back, you're like, put him in your lineup and we're ready.
Right.
And then he'd play 10 plays and he'd look awesome for the 8 to 10 carries that he'd get, and then he'd be out again. And this is Gus Edwards, not Christian McCaffrey.
No,
so
very true.
So do you want to play that game? I don't.
Yeah, no, and say I'm worried about it, but I think it's worth a discussion because I think there's some people out there that are
absolutely. That's why we're having it.
mode,
We're having
so.
it.
And speaking of that, if you are in that desperation mode, if Andrews is out, Likely's probably a good play. So if you've got some tight end issues, and you can afford Likely on your
Likely
your bench.
might be a good play even with Andrews. Because they lost Bateman for the year.
Yeah,
and they've got Demarcus Robinson, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet the second. Which one of those guys do you want to throw the ball to? And then you look at Isaiah Likely, and it's like, I'll throw him the ball. He's 6'4", 250, and he looks more athletic than Andrews does. So,
all right. So on the other side of the ball, are you starting DJ Moore, and are you starting
Deontay?
Deontay Johnson?
I don't. I am sitting DJ Moore everywhere I possibly can right now, and I start Deontay Foreman.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. But even that situation,
And
I'm
Foreman,
worried of
yep.
because Chuba Hubbard hasn't been healthy yet. I kind of feel like it's just we're waiting for Chuba Hubbard to get healthy, and he'll actually get the
And
amount of
my
carries that he's supposed
opinion-
to get. It'll be more 50-50.
I think it's going to be more 60-40, but that's still a huge
I'd
cut.
say 55-45, but
Whatever. But, Foreman's
if you want to split hairs, I'll split hairs with you.
Foreman is going to be the lead back. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be the lead guy. He's going to get most of the touches.
Okay, lead back, I would say I personally place a high value on goal line carries, and I would assume that he would be the goal line and short yardage back.
Right.
But Chuba Hubbard's going to get the passing work.
Exactly.
So who's going to be more valuable in PPR is kind of up in the air.
And so I think it comes down to it's
Especially
going to be a
like-
classic
and
first and
actually-
second down back and a third down
and
back.
actually, on a team that's not going to score a lot of points, you don't assume is going to have a lot of goal line opportunities. I lean towards the guy that's going to catch the ball.
And the problem there is that Chuba, in the times that he's had to
But
play
I want
in
neither.
the last 2
I
years,
want- I want-
hasn't shown much.
I want neither. So
I don't want Chuba.
You can you should be leaning on Deontay Foreman right now, and I am in a couple of leagues for
I'm in my
sure.
dynasty, yeah.
However, just know that he's kind of a house of cards.
I agree with that.
I do kind of feel like the rug is going to get pulled out from under me.
Yeah, he's going to become worse than he is. And like right now, he's hit or miss, and he's going to become even more hit or miss.
Well,
once.
right now he's getting so much work that he's like you can't miss. Like,
Well,
I mean, he's
but that was in the last 4 games, and 2 out of those 4 games were
I
Atlanta,
agree.
the same team. You know,
I totally agree. I totally agree. It's been a nice ride.
Yeah.
And, like it's been a nice ride.
and the game he was bad, he
And-
was really bad.
But we're probably going to run out of gas here on that train soon, or out of coal. that train.
All right, we took too long on that, but
We spent way too much time on Panthers and Ravens.
Yeah,
The
we
Ravens
did.
are going to win that.
I was
game.
like, what are you
we're all
guys
we're all
doing?
picking Ravens.
yes,
right?
we're all picking Ravens.
Hey, you know what?
There was
Hey.
some very interesting fantasy stuff in there. But
Yeah, and exactly, and for all people, people should know that we're not just homers. That like we're going to give the time whenever we feel the time is necessary to be given.
I think honestly, as homers, we don't even really are really like homer based.
He's giving me crap all the time. Like we're coming out of Panda Express tonight after dinner, and I saw a guy walking by in a Steve Young jersey, and I told him I'm about to jack that guy's jersey because it's on my list. And he's like, I could just never get into that. Just never
buying other people's jerseys.
buying
Yeah,
other
other
teams'
teams.
jerseys,
Yeah.
and what I said was I just don't have that much loyalty to NFL franchises. Like obviously, I want to see the Cowboys win before I want to see any other team win. But I kind of resent the modern NFL in the way that it makes me like follow players from team to team to team to team, and you can't really count on a guy being on your team for 8 years when you draft him anymore.
Yeah, they're. I mean, they got to be careful with that because
I see. To me,
we can get into it a little bit more in theories
Why-
off season.
yeah,
theories.
yeah.
But
We should talk about that in the offseason. But I just a little teaser because I mean, one of the I really do want to talk about is how it seems to me like there's plenty of room for players to get paid and not have to leave their teams.
yeah,
like just have a better system.
And like you look at the receiver carousel that happened this last year, and these teams made all these decisions that are basically financial decisions, and they're just like we've all learned that the salary cap is fungible. So it's kind of ridiculous when teams are like penny pitching and they move on from stars, to penny pinch and stuff. And there's a bunch of teams right now that are suffering because they traded away, star wide receivers to make financial decisions for their team.
Okay, so we're ready to move on to the Browns-Bills game. The Browns are at plus 7.5.
That's crazy low.
Do you think it's low? You think the
That's
Bills are going to blow them out?
low. Okay. So what I think that is based on before the game got moved.
I think that's a big part of it.
Okay. The over-under is at 49.5. If you're betting on the Browns,
See, now that says it's not.
yeah. If you're betting on the Browns, you're at plus 295, and if you're betting on the Bills, you're at minus 360. So,
For anybody who
based
doesn't know
on the
yet,
over/under, though,
the
you
game
said
got
that
moved.
says it's not.
The game got so. For anybody
Before
who
I
doesn't
start the
know,
timer.
go ahead.
No, before I start it.
For anybody who doesn't know, this game got moved. It's
Yeah.
no longer going to be played in Buffalo. It's going to be played in Detroit at Ford Field. So the 7.5 line for the Browns, to me, that if they were going to play in the the snow blizzard, the thunder snow that's happening, okay, That makes sense. That I could see that. It's gonna be it's gonna be hard to score. It's gonna be hard for any team to get up that high or up in front that much. And then you see the over under at 49.5, and it's like so they expect the teams to score.
Yeah.
So that must that suggests that it's been changed for them to be changed in consideration of them being in Ford Field this weekend instead of Buffalo.
And have
so
we
I
heard,
don't understand why it would only be 7.5 points because the Browns suck.
have we heard anything about?
That's an 18 to 32 game, if anybody's wondering.
Oh,
To hit that middle line.
the implied total.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's what. But Vegas is saying it's going to be more like 27-20, 28-21.
In order to hit the over under with the 7.5,
It's
my math might have been wrong on that.
29 to 20, or 29 to 21.
Yeah.
to be over.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that makes more sense than what I threw out there.
Got your back, buddy.
Now, have we heard about the
glad.
Buffalo players? I heard as of early this morning or late last night. I'm not sure how old my news was, but like they were having trouble getting the players to the plane.
Is your
thing.
news
Like,
still
they
coming
couldn't-
via pigeon carrier?
It could be. Could be.
Smoke screens.
Why? What have you heard with your interwebs?
Snail mail.
Regarding what issue? I'm sorry, I just couldn't wait to get the
You know, but in Brian's defense, this dude is on his phone looking up stats all the time.
Yeah, I
He's
know,
just
I
not
know.
a social media guy.
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't modernized socially.
No, so you haven't heard anything about
Socially,
the
there you
Buffalo?
go.
Like the storms and stuff were so bad that like they were trying to get the
So-
Buffalo players together to get to the plane and couldn't do it. And so they
no,
were having serious logistic problems.
My
and so that was my concern.
My understanding of the situation is that the weather is actually going to be clear enough on Sunday that you wouldn't assume that they needed to move the game. They're only expecting like 3 to 6 inches of snow on Sunday. But it's so bad right now that they don't have confidence that people are going to be able to get to the game.
Right.
So yeah, it makes sense that they're having issues getting all the players together so that
They can get to the
yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't just tell the players to meet in
yeah.
Detroit.
I don't know the big story on all that.
The team will take care of the equipment and stuff like that. However, they're going to take care of the
Just get
equipment,
there.
and the players just show up. Because it's like, especially like in situations like this, like, do you really want them all to get on a bus together or on a plane together? It's like that just sounds like a tragedy waiting to
But
happen.
can you imagine telling 53 young men to just just get there? Like you'll get 49 of them. You know what I mean?
These are NFL players.
All right.
They have money.
I get it. I'm just saying, young men are young men. They're stupid sometimes.
Sure, that's true. That's true, and it's fine.
Is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Some random 6th-round pick just gets deactivated this week. Because he
I'm
didn't
just saying.
show
I
up.
bet you that's part of why they do it as a group. But
No,
I'm throwing
yes,
it out
for
there.
sure. That's what, and also it's just team building and all that stuff, keeping all the guys together.
All right,
But
we haven't talked about the game yet.
Do we need to talk about the game? You're going to start Josh Allen. So the most important.
What are
so
the injury situations like? Do we have anybody injured to worry about?
Njoku is coming back this week.
Okay.
So he should be back. Buffalo has been really good against tight end, but then they got lit up by T.J. Hawkinson last week. So I think Njoku is at least the player that T.J. Hawkinson is. So I wouldn't have any fear in starting him. Interesting. Now it's not really a road game. It's a
Right.
It's an even game, field
It's
game.
like going to Mexico City.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like an international game now. So does that mean we can start Amari Cooper because it's not a road game?
No, I'd say it's still a road game. I wouldn't start Amari Cooper.
So I would start in this game.
You can start him. I mean, in all seriousness, you can start
You
Amari
should.
Cooper.
You're going to start him. You're going to
You're
start him.
probably going to have
Don't-
to if he's
like-
on your team.
Yes. I don't.
And you're going to start Nick Chubb.
It's not DFS
but
this week.
Nobody else on the Cleveland side.
I would start Njoku. Yeah. Absolutely.
okay.
And
First week back. What was the injury? Do you remember?
It was a leg injury.
Okay.
So you do worry about re-injury
Yeah, just
on that stuff. but
or that they might be
he's
taking
such
it
a-
slow,
he's such a good
easing him
athlete,
in.
and he was such a big part of the offense before he got hurt. That I think so. To me, he kind of like him coming back makes me kind of pump the brakes on Peoples-Jones, because Peoples-Jones' blow up has been while Njoku's been hurt.
No, I agree with that.
So we'll see what happens there. I would much rather start Njoku than start Peoples-Jones or Cooper this weekend.
At the position.
Yes,
Yeah.
position wise, not just like I think he's going to
Not
outscore
as a
them.
flex, yeah.
and oh, my flex, I'm going to take Amari Cooper out, put Njoku.
Joku.
Yeah. No, don't do that.
And
then on the Bill
Buffalo,
side,
we're just
I think
starting everybody. At this point,
Singletary
right?
is super interesting. I think this week.
Although I thought Singletary was the one that
The Browns have been really bad against the run, and we're getting like Singletary he's been like taking over a little more. He's been getting more of the snap count.
But if we expect Buffalo to blow them out, in blowouts, they start sitting
James
Singletary and they bring in whoever else. So
I don't know if we expect him to blow them out.
14-point spread, bro. Or
7.5. It was only 7.5.
Oh, that's right. No, that was the last game. Sorry, 7.5.
It's only 7.5. So,
Okay.
I expect the Bills to win though.
Yeah, I do too.
Stupid
right.
Browns.
Hard not to.
The Browns really let me down last week.
Who'd they play?
The Dolphins. They did not show up at all. Really.
All right. So next up we have. Oh, I have
It might have been too hot though.
the wrong game up.
This is a really sunny game.
There we go. All right. So next up we got the Washingtons at the Texans. Washington is at -3. The over-under at 41. And if you're betting on the Commanders, you're at -165. If you're betting on Texans, you're on at +140. This should be Commanders all the way.
All the way.
Yeah, I mean, hard not to think that at this point.
So-
They're both bad teams, so you never know.
Do we talk about the Monday night game now?
Against the Eagles?
Okay, yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Brian Robinson was awesome.
Yes, and like I said, like we mentioned earlier, it looked like there was a real shift in the offense.
I picked him. So at the last minute on Sunday, Zeke was declared out, and I was forced to take him out of my lineup and make a pivot. And it's after 1 o'clock, so there's very few options. And Brian Robinson happened to be available in our league, and I am super happy to have him now.
Right. Because going into last week, he didn't look like a great play. It was
No,
like,
it didn't.
oh god,
It's like
I gotta play him.
he's going to get. My thoughts going into that were like he's going to get 12 to 14 carries. The Eagles are suffering with a couple injuries up front. Maybe he'll score, and man, he probably most players would not have scored on the play that he scored on.
Right.
That was a hell of a run, and that the effort, he stretched his arm out it felt like a whole yard, it felt like he was at the 1, and he found a way to stretch his arm out across the goal line.
I remember seeing 1 or 2 plays where he was just dragging players,
Yes.
literally dragging players.
yes,
I was like,
and
whoa,
so,
I think he's feeling better.
And then I looked at his schedule and saw that he had Houston next week, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be awesome, because Houston has been the worst tackling team in football this year. They've gotten gashed by everybody. I'm actually super excited to see what Brian Robinson does to them this weekend. And the Commanders coming off that big win, they're pumped up. They get Chase Young back this week. The NFC East is really good.
If they lose this game, what is
We know
going
nothing.
on? Yeah,
We know nothing. Yes.
what's happening?
Yeah.
So
Seriously, if they lose this game, it's time for expansion. The NFL has reached to a point of parity that is not fun anymore.
I've got a friend at work that always preaches that we should have, if we had a AAA league leading into the NFL here, and then every year out of the 32 teams, whoever was the worst team had to go down to the AAA league.
Yeah.
And whoever the AAA first team was came up. I was like, that's really cool. I wish that could happen.
That's fun. Yeah.
Never happened the way things are, but man,
Oh yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
cool. What a cool
they're
setup.
They're too entrenched in their financial systems.
Exactly.
I bet it does in 20, 30 years, something like that might get. It would take, let's
So-
put it this way. Once the decision's made, it would probably take a good 20, 30 years. For it to be successfully done. What's going on here? Did I miss something?
Sorry, shot taken.
We're drinking.
So Commanders, you're going to start McLaurin. You're going to start Brian Robinson. You can even start Gibson in a flex position.
Brian Robinson and Gibson have been good starters
Yep.
the last couple of weeks.
I wouldn't start Heineke yet, but so that's
I am
probably
in a
it on
couple
that
places.
side. Are you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
mean, if
he's
you have
so
to.
because of where we're at. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are on bye this week. There's no Brady. There's no Geno. Where else? Who else are we missing?
Oh gosh.
Who else is on bye this week? That's what we should start doing when we start the week, is just announcing the teams that are on bye. But if you're in a spot and you need to start somebody, like Taylor Heineke's is an okay.
It's an
okay
okay
start.
start. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's definitely, like, you want to start Garoppolo over him. I would.
I'd rather start Garoppolo. I would rather start Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
I'd rather
there's some
start-
players you want to.
Yeah, I'd rather start Kirk Cousins, against Dallas. But yeah. On the other side, you're starting Dameon Pierce, but don't be excited about it because, like I said, the Commanders are getting Chase Young back this
Yep.
week. I think they're going to get better. They've already been kind of tough against the run. He's he's going to get the work. He's going to get 20+ touches.
Exactly.
You think we think, because now it's also important to remember the Texans have picked up a couple of players this week, including Eno Benjamin, who had a little success in Arizona, and he's not out of Arizona due to ineffectiveness. It was
Attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah. So okay, something to keep in mind, but you still have to start Pierce.
It is.
and
It is interesting. It's something
Cooks if you
I
have
personally
to,
am
and
a little
nothing
worried
else.
about. As someone who's leaning on Damon Pierce. Like I've had weak running backs in our
Oh
league.
yeah. Okay.
So I'm definitely keeping an eye on that.
So next up, we have the Eagles at the Colts.
Did we all pick the Commanders there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We have the Eagles at the Colts. Eagles are at minus 6.5.
The 1-2 Eagles at the 1-2 Colts.
Yeah. The over-unders have 45.5. If you're betting on the Eagles, minus 300. And if you're betting on the Colts, plus 250.
So what was the point spread again?
You guys remember Monday night when the
Plus
Eagles
6.5.
lost?
6.5.
That was
For Colts.
awesome. So we didn't actually really talk about the stuff that was controversial in that game. Personally, when I saw I think the face mask, if it hadn't resulted in Dallas Goedert getting hurt, people wouldn't be talking about it so much because they get missed all the time.
Agreed.
It's just that he also got seriously injured on the play, so it just seems like one of those things. It's like, oh my god, how did they miss it?
I saw a college play with
and
a
also
really bad face mask.
It seems egregious, but like if you've ever played football, like you understand how easy it is to just like accidentally grab someone's face mask.
Oh, yeah.
Like especially if you're falling down, So I don't really hold that against. I can't even remember the Commanders player that was responsible for that. To me, the more interesting play was the play with Taylor Heineke taking the knee.
Oh yeah.
And people are just like completely up in arms about how it's an egregious call, and it's just not in the spirit of the competitive rule or whatever you want to say, whatever reason you want to give, like whatever. I don't even know whatever slack you want to give Brandon Graham for making that boneheaded play. I disagree with you because you watch that play from the end zone, and he takes 2 full steps, then lunges at Taylor Heineke. He didn't get pushed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was falling down. Taylor, you see it from the end zone, and Taylor Heineke takes a knee, and Brandon Graham takes 2 full steps, then lunges.
And I think his explanation was that, the way Heineke was doing it, he thought he was gonna. I don't know what it was, but you're right. And
Heineke didn't get back up. He didn't. He took a knee and kind of sat there.
yeah,
So it's like, how hard would it have been for you to run by and tap him on the shoulder?
Right,
Even if you thought that the play was still alive, he's on the ground. Just tap him on the shoulder. Like it was such a stupid play. Or run over there and put your arms around him.
yeah,
You had to lunge at him.
Yep.
Like that's why they called it, dude.
of course, yeah.
Like
It
and
was-
absolutely they have to call that. Like you're a 300-pound man who just lunged himself.
and it was obvious.
At a guy on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's the quarterback. Like
he'd taken a
I
knee.
want to
with
take a
his-
time out right here.
showing-
I want
you're
to show you
showing
guys
this play?
this college play with this face mask. And I have it broadcasted for anybody who's watching on YouTube. You can see this college play in case you missed it. Alabama versus Ole Miss. Look at this face mask.
Oh, jeez.
yeah, see, that one's a little worse.
Oh Oh my God.
Watch it one more time. Like this
He
thing.
almost took his head off.
This happened this week or last week.
Oh,
Jeez,
that is
that's
all the
brutal.
flags.
That's brutal.
All right, time in.
Yeah. So, I have no sympathy for Eagles fans who are upset at that call.
Yeah, I think that's lame. And
I laughed.
you know,
I laughed so hard, and I texted you guys so fast. Like I was so happy. Like this is the best. I think I texted this best ending to a game ever.
you texted that, and I can't remember. I was doing something with my kids at the time, so I didn't know what you were referring to at the time. But
That's what it was. It was I texted you guys right when he hit him because I knew the game was over, and that is just the most boneheaded way to end the game ever.
yeah.
So
What game were we talking about?
So the
Eagles, Colts.
And actually, I think this is an interesting game because
we
the
actually
way
should just take a
Washington.
we should have taken a timeout. So like we should just do it now and like try and keep it to like 3 minutes or something like that. We're talking about this game because there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this game too.
Right.
Because like
There really is.
Because the Colts hired Jeff Saturday
Grab
last
me
week.
a beer while we're
and
doing this, please.
the internet and all the talking heads were just killing the Colts for hiring Jeff Saturday.
It doesn't have to be a bud.
Bill
It's
Cowher
whatever.
called it a disgrace to coaching.
Oh, the hire.
Yes, Bill Cowher called the Jeff Saturday hiring a disgrace to the profession of coaching.
And now, why is
kinda
that?
funny.
Is that because they felt like it was an acquaintance hire or something like that?
Because of how it went about. Because
Saturday
like,
has no
you
experience.
you would have to ask Bill Cowher him like that question to get him to break it down. But I imagine
I'm sorry, was it Cowher or Tom?
It was Cowher.
Cowher, okay,
and what
that
I
makes more
imagine
sense.
he did it on CBS, the Sunday morning
Okay,
show
yeah,
or something
that
like
makes
that.
way more sense. Okay. I was thinking you said
so-
Tomlin for some reason.
I would imagine that it has to do with how he had to come up through the ranks and how most coaches have to come up through the ranks in order to get their head coaching job.
Yeah.
And Jeff Saturday was on ESPN, lobbing mortars at, whatever team was, buzzworthy that week, the week before he gets hired as a head coach. And so it just it subverts the process. And I get that, I get that to a certain extent, but it's like, I also understand that these are just billionaires that own a business and they
Doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
and
He
trusts this guy.
and now, if you, at the NFL, and when it comes to hiring an actual coach, when they're going to go through the hiring process, they're going to have to interview some people. But in terms of hiring a mid-season replacement for your head coach, give me a break. Let him do whatever he wants.
Well, and like I say, he obviously has a lot of confidence in Saturday. And Saturday, as we all
I do
know,
too.
is going to run the ball.
And yes.
That's the big
Side
thing.
note, called that one.
Yeah, that's what they want to do is
I
run the
tried
dumb ball.
so hard to get Jonathan Taylor in multiple leagues last
Yeah.
week, and forget about it now.
Oh, yeah. No,
Forget about it now.
he's back to
He's
number
back.
one guy.
He
Yeah.
back.
Sorry, before we go any further, did we get a question just there?
Just a comment that
okay.
the face mask was brutal.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, right
it
on.
was brutality.
Amen.
Yeah, so it was really nice to see the Colts make smart decisions like starting Matt Ryan and running the football.
Yeah. Duh decisions.
And it's disappointing that they've Shaq Leonard is going to miss the rest of the year. He had back surgery, and I swear to God, that alone right there, is what prevents me from picking the Colts to win this weekend. But I kind of want to.
Dude, I do too.
I kind of want
too.
to. I kind of like them.
I really like them.
The Eagles. The Eagles didn't play a bad game last weekend. The turnover bug finally got them.
Right.
And I didn't realize this, but did you know they set an NFL record for fewest turnovers in their first 8 games?
Oh, no. That's a big deal, though.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
That's why they're 8-0
Yeah.
right there. Winning the turnover margin is so huge in the NFL. So huge. The Vikings, they intercepted Josh Allen in the end zone twice. And he fumbled the ball on his own goal line, resulting in a defensive touchdown for the Vikings.
Hilarious ending.
And they still only won by 3 in overtime.
Yep.
The turnover margin is huge. Like winning the turnover margin like that is huge, and that's why Washington won that game.
Without a doubt.
My so what I was going to say is that they're also kind of fluky. So
Eagles?
Turnovers.
Oh,
turnovers can be fluky. Like the last turnover of the game in that Monday night game was a long pass that was completed to, I want to say it was Watkins that caught the pass. He stumbles but doesn't get touchdown, gets up, gets hit in the back and fumbles. And and those are just like those kind of those are
unpredictable.
They're unpredictable, but they're game deciding plays. They're hard to overcome when the other team isn't making those mistakes. And my point in bringing that up is that it's entirely possible the Eagles have more games like that over the the second half of the season.
But it's hard to predict when those games are going to happen, when those turnovers are going to happen.
A.J. Brown is hurt now.
And A.J. Brown is hurt.
Which we knew was going to happen.
The Colts are playing that type. I mean, they used Brian Robinson last week to just pound away at the Eagles, and now we've got an even better running back doing the same thing.
Agreed. Like the Eagles, so the Eagles signed Ndamukong Suh this week, and they signed Linval Joseph to bolster their defensive line. But we don't know if they'll play this week, and even if they do, how effective they're going to be.
Exactly.
So you kind of just Washington had success against the Eagles, and I would expect that Jonathan Taylor can have at least similar success.
Yeah, I definitely take the points. I'm having trouble outright picking Indy, but man, I really want to.
I really want to too.
It feels like I should, but I think the smart play is still
like
taking
I said.
the Eagles,
So
but
when
man, it's close.
When Matt Ryan got taken out and got replaced by Sam Ellinger,
Right.
I said, Matty Ice ain't going out like that. That's what I could definitely see the Colts going on a run. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
Starting with the Eagles.
They started last week with the Raiders.
I know.
And continuing with the Eagles.
Continuing with the
Continue.
Eagles.
Okay.
So you're
thank
taking
you.
the.
You're taking the.
I'm taking the Colts up.
He's gonna do it. All right.
Got baited.
Fuck you, Eagles fans.
I didn't have the balls.
That's about time. Last season, you're all about that. You never.
I haven't
picked
said
the
it enough
Eagles,
this year. I haven't said it enough this year.
Oh, that's Brian. Okay.
All right, tough one. And just real quick, fantasy wise, start Jonathan Taylor. Start
Paris Campbell.
Probably Paris Campbell.
Paris Campbell
maybe
in all of his starts with Matt Ryan has been a top 12
Yes.
wide receiver this year.
Yeah.
Super interesting. So you're gonna start you fire up Pittman again, and also Alec Pierce becomes interesting again. Matt Ryan makes all these players interesting again.
Yeah. And on the Eagles side, you're starting all the usual characters, but remember A.J. Brown might not play, and Goddard is out. So
Devonta
if you want
Smith,
to play
arrow
Stoll, no, that's probably more of a DFS
Devontae
play.
Smith to the moon, baby.
Okay.
He doesn't this guy over here to my right doesn't have the faith that I do
In Devontae Smith.
in the
Yeah.
Devonta Smith talent. I watch him play, and I'm just
I want to see it, man.
I just I hate the Eagles so much, but I really like him. He's a really good player.
And I've heard that from multiple people. And I just haven't seen it with my eyeballs on the NFL field, and so
I feel like I've seen it a lot.
okay.
I don't know if maybe you're not watching him enough. You're not
Maybe
watching,
not.
You're not
Maybe
watching enough Eagles games. Maybe you're just Pennsylvania jealous.
Here we come, brother.
But you should, because he's really good.
All right.
He's really good. He can do all of the things. He can
Yeah,
make all
and
the
he's-
different catches.
he's really
he runs,
good, but-
runs good routes. He's lightning fast. He can
But
make the
obviously
acrobatic
way
catches.
worse than A.J.
He's
Brown.
just, the thing you
so
just worry about him getting hit with Devonta Smith. I wouldn't even say he's worse than A.J. Brown. That's not fair.
I
That's not
think
fair.
that's completely fair, but that's my big knock
That's not
against him
fair.
is A.J. Brown comes in and goes, "This is what a real receiver is, motherfucker." That's what I feel happened this
okay.
year.
And the only thing I'll say about that is that he has a leg up on Devontae Smith, and that him and Jalen Hurts have been best friends since high school.
Oh, A.J. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas, but whereas Smith actually had a year of playing with him last year.
Yeah, but that is
It
doesn't
in the
matter.
NFL.
It doesn't really matter. It's like Joe Burrow had a year of playing with T. Higgins and then got Jamar Chase.
Right. Well, Jamar Chase is better talent, though.
Is he? Is he?
Sure.
T. Higgins
seems like it.
T. Higgins does some special things, but it's just there's just something to be said about a quarterback and a receiver having chemistry.
Yeah,
Like
you can't deny that for sure. All right, moving on.
All right, next up we have the Jets at the Patriots.
hold on, can we take a timeout again real quick? So we used to do
We don't take timeouts.
We used to do this all the time, but so real quick, what are your your favorite quarterback receiver combinations of all time?
Oh God, of all time, like, dude, you can't just ask me that off the bat,
I sure
man.
can. I took a timeout.
I have no idea.
I took a
man.
timeout. Have yourself a drink and answer the question. Jeez.
Big Ben, Hines Ward.
Oh God. Sorry, I asked this question. I'm gonna go
and then
Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson.
he pressed on it too. That's what made it even better.
Terry Bradshaw,
Kurt
John
Warner,
Stallworth.
Terry Holt, Kurt Warner, Terry Holt,
Yeah.
Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce.
That really impressed me. That's because see, like
favorite parent.
That's what I'm trying to think of. Because like I like Manning to Harrison.
Yes, I like that. So
But
that's
I
on my
think-
list.
but
Thank you. That's a good one.
To me, I think that's all on Manning. Like Harrison never impressed me enough to where he was. To me, he was just a
Brady Moss.
He's a 6.5, 7 out of 10 that got made into a 9 out of 10 because of his quarterback. That's the way I always looked at it. So I'm trying to think of like true receiver quarterback combos.
I
that are
wouldn't
just
call
like,
Marvin Harrison's a Hall of Famer. I wouldn't call him a 6 out of 10.
He's a Hall of Famer because of Peyton Manning.
I wouldn't. No,
Without
he put up
Peyton
numbers,
Manning,
he put up numbers before Peyton.
he gets nowhere near.
He
the
put
Hall
up no. He had 100 catches before Peyton Manning got drafted.
Okay, but not.
I'm just saying.
I know.
Just saying.
He was not a superstar.
Like
until
6
Peyton
out of
Manning
10s
got
don't have 100 catch seasons.
there. 7 out of 10s do. That's why I said 6 to 7. 6 to 7.
Sevens do not
I,
6.
I don't know.
Okay.
Man. Anyway.
Okay.
So I'm trying to
Brady Moss. That almost
They
went
didn't have enough
undefeated.
time together.
They almost
definitely
went
not one of
undefeated.
my
Like-
favorites.
Well, I guess that's one season. It was
that
one
season was so fun.
Yeah, that was a fun
2007
season.
was
So-
a fun season. The 25 setting the record, breaking Jerry Rice's touchdown record. That was
Culpepper to Moss. I enjoyed watching that. That was fun. That
here's-
was fun.
Here's one that's
I
gonna.
hated that one. Here. Let me hold on. You want?
The touch into the dance.
Dante Culpepper. Oh my God, I hated that so much. I hated him.
So I got one here for the football IQ genius. Who was Dan Marino's target?
Mark Clayton.
That was so. How about so? It was the Dan Marino, Mark Clayton.
There was two Marks.
Combo.
It was Mark Clayton and Mark Duper.
I love being able to just throw that out there and he just have the answer. Like I just love that.
Yeah, Dan Marino. He also had Dan Marino's. Like my favorite target that Dan Marino threw to was Irving Fryer. They had a year in I think it was like '93 that was just awesome. He scored like every week. It seemed like
Dan Marino was still playing in '93.
Dan Marino played until '99.
That late? Wow.
Yeah.
I knew it was past 93, but I did not realize it was to 99.
Yeah, he kept trying, dude.
Yeah,
he really
I thought
kept,
there's
he really
like
kept
three,
trying.
his last
And,
3 years, you're just like, retire.
He had Jimmy Johnson with him the last couple, and their defense was good. And it was so sad because he had like lost it a little bit, you know. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were. Like, that's Dan Marino and those Dolphins teams. They're like kind of a sad NFL story because in modern NFL, Dan Marino probably gets a ring because he gets enough put around him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So let's see.
Sorry, I'm having trouble like coming up with like an all
me,
time. Yeah.
The one that caused me the most grief probably was Young to Rice.
I figured somebody was going to mention that one. So
Well, and that's one of the greatest. But you're saying you're asking me what are my favorites?
Oh yeah,
And
okay.
that's not
yeah.
one of my favorites.
Okay,
but,
yeah. One of my.
but definitely one of the greatest.
Yeah. See, and it's tough because these. Like for me, it was like one of my favorites. Honestly, is Ben and AB.
Okay.
Like they did so much damage.
They did. They did.
They did like it was beautiful.
But again, you're asking my favorites, so that's why I go to
How's that
Hines
not on
Ward.
your list, though?
Dude? No, dude, I enjoyed AB.
Hines Ward was a workman.
He was always this thing.
He worked so hard. He was a good blocker.
No,
like,
bro.
he had like
They changed the rules of the friggin' NFL for Hines Ward. When the NFL has to make a rule for you, you're a freaking stud, dude.
It depends on what it is, though, because the NFL made a rule for Roy Williams too, and you're not, and no one's happy about that one.
Which one was that one?
That's the horse collar rule.
Who's not happy about that? Like, that's a legit rule.
I hate that rule.
Come on,
If you're running
man.
the ball, you should grab everything but the face mask.
Yeah, I love that tackle. I honestly, I when he started doing that, I was like, that's fucking brilliant.
Brutal, but cool.
It wasn't even that brutal. Honestly, it was
How can you grab the hair but not the horse collar?
Okay, so there was
Hair's an option.
most
You don't
of the
have to have it.
time when he was doing it to people, he wasn't diving onto them like that one play where he broke Terrell Owens' leg, and that's why the rule got made.
Right.
Because the Eagles were on their way to a Super Bowl, and he broke Terrell Owens' leg. Most of the time when he was doing that to people, he was still on his feet and he was running, and it was just like grabbing them and kind of almost like gently placing them on the ground because he was pulling them down to the ground, and they weren't being like savagely hit. When so it was here, go to sleep, here, lay down,
Right.
and so it didn't always look as brutal as that Terrell Owens hit.
Didn't look like Night Train Lane
No,
coming across with the
most of the time it
forearm.
was just a really effective, funny looking tackle.
Yeah.
And so I liked it. I enjoyed the horse collar tackling and was just like, and it's just another reason I don't like the Eagles. It's like
It all comes back.
Are we ready to move on?
I think yeah. We're ready to move on.
All right.
Yeah, we got plenty of games still in front of us.
But yeah, Manning to Harrison, Manning to Wayne, those are like those are my favorites probably. They were so good.
I know I'm missing one out there. It's bugging me.
Probably Rodgers to Adams, Rodgers and Devontae Adams. That like the back shoulder throws that.
Very impressive.
It feels like Rodgers and Adams kind of just like invented that.
Yeah. Nope. Very impressive.
All right, so New York Jets at the Patriots. Jets are at plus 3.5. The over/under at 38. I think that's probably the smallest over/under I've seen today. Plus 145 if you're betting on the Jets, and minus 170 if you're betting on the Patriots.
You know why last week was just a down week in the NFL to me?
Jets were on bye.
Jets were not playing football.
You're not a Cowboy fan. You're a Jets fan.
I might not be anymore, dude. I might be a Jets fan now.
That's fun. They're having a great year finally, and you're like, nope, I'm done. I'm moving on to the Jets.
Fuck you. I've been on the Jets since they were 1-2. They were 1-2, and I was in love. So you can sit and spin. Like
I'm saying this year.
but they weren't having a good year. I just liked them.
I know.
Like they were one of my picks in the off season. Like they were my like, and I really want to go back and listen to this now because you guys really made fun of me for picking the Jets. When
I did.
When we picked teams that didn't make the playoffs that we thought could possibly make a run, make the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
The two teams that I picked were the Jets and the Falcons. At the time, the Falcons still had Matt Ryan.
Right.
And actually, as bad as the NFC South looks, I still kind of look a little smart on that
got a
one. But I'm really happy for the Jets. Like because I saw this last year. They looked like a team that was turning it around. They were playing tough. They were in the games,
And all their draft picks hit.
Yes, and when in April, I think like we were texting each other during the draft and stuff, and I was super excited about what the Jets did in the draft. I felt like the Jets won the draft. Yeah. Like we did a podcast shortly after the draft happened. I think that's what I said was I think the Jets won the draft, and they have. Like they're killing it. Like
they killed it.
Garrett Wilson looks awesome. Sauce Gardner, his numbers are ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's
Sauce,
it is like there's a new, like you get lost in the sauce. Like he's a rookie and he's already got his own like Revis Island type thing going on. Getting lost in the sauce. Like that is awesome. Like it's so much fun to watch.
That being said, you're picking the Pats.
That being said, there's not a whole lot going on in fantasy right now, except for Garrett Wilson. I think you can start.
Wilson, yep.
I think we are at a point where you can start Garrett Wilson every week.
Whew, I hope so. I took a chance in one of my leagues on him, so
I have him everywhere. Yeah.
Just quick side note here. I've got it's a really strange league. It's got 16 teams, but it's broken up into two 8-team divisions, and the two 8-team divisions are completely different drafts. So I could have Alvin Kamara in one league, and somebody could have him on the other
So you
side
can play
too.
him for your championship.
Exactly.
You have to play against your own players.
Against him, yeah. So that kind of stuff happens.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of fun. It's different. But what was my point? But Garrett Wilson, so obviously 8-team league, you've got really strong players and stuff. And I have just gotten decimated at freaking
Having
receiver.
to start him in 8-team league, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, but that's what
Even
I'm doing
in a
this week,
10-team league, he's
come
still like
on,
a flex
baby.
guy.
Yeah.
But in 12-team leagues, if you're starting 3 receivers, you're starting Garrett Wilson
Yes,
for sure.
and I agree with that. But just throwing out some of my pain there, some of my anxiety for the weekend. So saying all that, you're gonna pick your Jets?
You know I am.
All right.
I don't think they were going to get swept by the Patriots this year, and the Patriots did get them earlier. They've had this is a scary one because
Me too. Oh, I saw your hand go on the ice chest. I was like,
the Patriots also had a bye last week, and Bill Belichick with an entire extra week to prepare
thank you, sir.
for a team, just that feels bad.
Yeah.
That being said, this is where I'm planting my flag on the Jets.
Yeah. And to me, this is a very 50-50 game.
Yes, I agree.
This is really tough, and it comes down to the Patriots having a bye week before and the Patriots being at home. So I feel like I have to pick the Patriots, but I think this is a very close, very tight, very good game.
Doesn't that feel good to
So who
say
you picking?
when you're talking about Jets Patriots?
So you picking
Doesn't
the
that
Pats?
feel good to
I'm
say?
taking the Pats.
So that last game against the Bills, Zach Wilson really impressed me. I think the Bills' defense is better than the Patriots' defense. I do.
Okay.
And they were able to move the ball all day against the Bills' defense with no Breece Hall. They made plays when they needed to make plays, and he didn't turn the ball over. That being said, it is Bill Belichick. I'm not going to be surprised if Zach Wilson goes out and turns the ball over 3 times and the Jets lose. I won't be surprised. I'm just saying it's not going to happen.
I love it.
And this is another for me. This is another big game for the Jets. Them stepping forward, taking a step forward, and being a contender.
If they win this game, it's a statement.
You can't get swept by your division rival that is below you in the standings.
And I think they can, if they win here and a Bills loss or something like that, then they're leader of the division. I can't remember what the situation was.
The Dolphins.
Dolphins. Yeah,
They actually have the tiebreaker over the Bills right now.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
the Bills lost and they're now in 3rd place.
Yeah. I thought it was either first place or last
The
place.
Bills are in 3rd place, but they're high. But they are the highest team in the power rankings of the division.
Oh, what a
So, yeah.
division! Craziness.
Yeah, well, the
This
NFC,
year has been so
the
nuts.
NFC East and the AFC East, both divisions, all 4 teams are above 500. Not at, above 500.
And not the 2 divisions we would have picked at the beginning of the year.
No, no one did. Absolutely nobody did. It's so much fun. I'm really enjoying it. I love the Jets being good.
All right, and then so on Patriots side, we're still starting with Ramondre
Every week.
Stevenson. Damian Harris is coming back, working his way back
Damian
in.
Harris is
but
a handcuff now.
Yeah, it seems like he's lost his starting role to Stevenson. So until anything proves otherwise, that's what you're going to.
If Stevenson, like I said, he's a handcuff now, so he's going to get some work. He's going to look good when he's out there, much like your Alexander Madison kind of. Mm-hmm. And if Ramondre Stevenson gets hurt, you expect it. You just plug Damian Harris right in, but it's going to take him getting hurt for that to happen.
You might be right on that. And then maybe, I always forget this receiver's name.
Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers. Jeez.
Jacoby Myers.
He's a freaking law firm. How do I forget his name?
Jacoby Myers is
I don't get it. But I can never remember that
He's
guy's name.
quietly having a top 15.
Very
season.
quietly. That's why I can't remember
very
his
quietly
name.
having a top 15 season. He's having you can start him. You should start him. You should be starting him. I think I haven't tried very hard to trade for him because he's one of those players that he was drafted so low that everybody that has him is just so happy to have him. There's no way they're trading him.
That's true.
And so you should start him this weekend. The Jets defense is awesome. So
And New England's good too. So temper your expectations of anyone you're playing in this game. There's a reason why the over/under is 38.
and I expect it to be under.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I like
So
I,
keep
to
that
me
in
this
mind.
is a 24 this is like a 20-10 game. I do think the Jets are going to win. I do think the Jets are going to shut down the Patriots. I don't think it has as much to do with Zach Wilson beating the Patriots defense as it does the Jets
defense. Yeah.
demolishing the Patriots offense, because I think that's what's going to happen.
All right, that's fair.
So next up, we have the Rams at the Saints. The Rams are at plus 2.5. The over/under at 30. Oh, let me start that. The over/under at 39. If you're betting on the Rams, you're at plus 130, and if you're betting on the Saints, you're at minus 150.
Over under 39 for a Sean McVay game.
Yep, he's not scoring.
So honestly, on this one, we should probably let Ray start. Are you going to pick your home team here, or
Yep,
pick
absolutely.
your homer team?
Yep, every game, because I'm that kind of a homer. I am that kind of a homer, dude.
Because the Saints look really good right here.
Hey, you know what? I see what happens when you pick against your team.
I know. I did it one time this year. I know.
Oh man. This game is all kinds of awful. In my work league, the guy who has Cooper Kupp, his team was loaded. It looked like it was going to be really, really, really hard to beat him for fantasy this year. And so it's yes, thank you, Cooper Kupp, for getting.
So you're saying I got a chance?
Saying I got a chance? No, sorry, Cooper Kupp managers, but that's a big blow.
Yep.
That there is no replacement for that. It's not
No, sir.
In a lot of places, in the league,
Not Ben Skronik?
for instance, no. So my point is, thank you. In a lot of places, for instance, you'd say Jamar Chase, probably top 5 receiver, right? Right?
Just in general, right? Yeah.
Okay, he gets hurt. Tyler Boyd slides right in, right? You're not expecting a 40-point game from Tyler Boyd, but you're like, man, Tyler Boyd's going to score me 20 this week.
He might
for sure.
score me 25. Yeah.
And with it upwards of 25 to 30, he could do that. The Rams don't have that going on at all. Cooper Kupp was their offense. That was it. That's all That's all they had going on.
Robinson clearly is not the answer.
They haven't been able to run the football all year. It's a scary situation offensively for the Rams. They were already the best team in the league to start your defense against, which is just in fantasy, which is just sad.
Yep. And then they lost 2 offensive linemen
and their quarterback and Cooper Kupp. It's just
I'm almost at the point where maybe you should sit Stafford for the rest of the season.
Well, easy. I
the
don't think
only
he's
thing is
starting
they
this-
don't have anything to gain because they don't have any draft picks.
I know. This is really going to be interesting to see what happens.
I was just
'Cause,
thinking to keep Stafford healthy.
They're
sorry, Ray. I interrupted.
No. Go ahead. No. I was done anyway.
Yeah. So it's rest of season right now. It kind of looks like you just, if you're looking for a defense to start this week, see if the team playing against the Rams is available.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but that's probably a legit strategy going forward. Until they prove otherwise, it's a legit strategy going forward.
Yep. Sad but true.
And on the other side, can we get Winston back, please? Can we get Jameis back? I
get the feeling they're just setting him for the rest of this year, maybe.
So the word out
they've got
of
that back. He's got those back issues, and they
it's
just
his
want
foot
him
now.
to heal. Well, I thought it was the back that they really
that's what
wanted to
I
let
thought
heal.
too. And then I heard, I was hearing today, that he's not going to be. They're saying that he's not going to be quote unquote healthy he's not going to be 100% for the rest of the year because of his foot.
Oh, I thought Okay, I could have swore it was the back.
I have to look farther into it. I didn't have time today. I had a midterm to write, but when I heard that, I was like, "What are you talking about? What foot injury? I thought his back was broken."
Yeah.
So I'm so animated over this because I have Chris Olave in a lot of spots, and like I'm just
makes a
waiting for
difference.
Winston to get back because the difference between Olave with Winston and Olave with Dalton is starter versus non-starter.
Yeah.
Period.
Night and day.
That is it.
Night and day difference.
Yes, and then the last couple games, Dalton hasn't even been helping Kamara. So if you're not going to help Kamara, just get to the bench, son.
Right. Yeah.
That was the only saving grace you had was you were good for Kamara. If you're not going to be good for Kamara either, just go sit down.
What are you
The
gonna do?
only thing you're doing is throwing pick sixes right now.
So, as far as starters go in this game, I mean, you're starting Kamara.
You're still going to start
You
Olave.
you have to start Olave.
With their injuries and stuff. You have to.
You can start Hill at tight end if you need to, but
Taysom Hill is still a top 5 tight end on the season.
Exactly.
Don't do it.
But he's completely hit or miss. So
Well,
he's either
he's
going to
a
get
top-
you 3 points
So
or
tight
23
tight
points.
end is so bad that Taysom Hill is a top 5 tight end off of 2 performances. Literally 2 performances. We're 10 games in, people. We're 10
Right.
weeks in. This is week 11.
And there were a
He's
few
had
games where he
2
wasn't involved at all.
performances
So.
where he had more than 10 PPR points, and he is the number 5 overall tight end.
Right.
So he can have a 30-point game.
But and I want to say there's like 4 points that
Good
or
luck.
4 games that he wasn't
Like-
even included.
No,
he wasn't
he didn't even
So-
touch the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different now,
and there's some
he's going
interesting
to have
numbers about.
I would predict he's going to have 2 more games the rest of this year that are going to be amazing.
Oh, we can high five on that one.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Now the rest of them, he's probably going to score 5
Yeah,
points.
good
or
luck
less.
calling it. Good luck. Yeah,
I
so
agree,
that's one of those
but-
things where you just like, you know what you should do is for the rest of the year, just like while we're doing DFS lineups, do our actual DFS lineups, our tournaments and stuff, and then just pick a tournament lineup that has Taysom Hill in it. Because because
Just
you're,
in case that's
you're
the
gonna
case.
hit, like
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. You just don't know exactly which week to do it. So
And I guess my only point on this is like the if you're in that tight end hell and you're going for the Foster Moreaus and picking up Isaiah Likely and throwing him on your bench, hoping that Andrew doesn't
Trey
play this
McBride,
week.
Trey McBride this week.
Exactly. Like I said,
I
tight
like
end
him.
hell.
I have. So, on that note, I have Trey McBride in Dynasty, and I've been waiting for this moment. So my tight ends, like my plan in Dynasty was to draft Zach Ertz and Trey McBride. You know,
can see that.
and someone stole Zach Ertz from me, so I wasn't able to get Ertz, but I did get McBride, and I have Komet though, so like. On that same team, so I'm leaving McBride on my taxi squad, but I'm very interested, and other people should be interested too because he was a very Gronkian prospect. He was the first tight end selected this year
Correct.
over Isaiah Likely.
In a tight end class, they said was
Over
great.
Dulcich.
Just saying.
No, they like this tight end class.
The pundits that I was listening to were like, this.
They
tight end
never
class
like
is,
tight end though, but these the tight end prospects that are coming up right now, like Dulcich, go look at the film on him from college. He's good. Likely, same thing. Like these are really good players. There's a couple of really good rookie tight ends right now.
My only point about tight ends is they have to have the potential to be a superstar. 'Cause
They
if
take
not,
so long to
just-
develop.
There's so many
They take
average
years.
tight ends. That,
Like don't give up on Kyle Pitts.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Like he's
just
so
too big a
young.
prospect.
Yeah, he's so young. He's such a freak athlete.
And as soon as he gets a better quarterback,
tight
so-
end is just a very, very difficult position to play. Like
Yep.
I remember when Jason Garrett was still in Dallas, that was the number one position that they would fill every year. They would spend money over and over and over again on tight ends. They would like the Cowboys would always spend money on backup tight ends because their 2 tight end packages. It was so important for them to have guys that knew what to do
Right.
all the time because so many times they are asked to make a decision on the line as to whether they're going to block a guy or run a route or whatever it is that they have to do. They have a lot of functionality in the offense. So it takes a long time for them to figure everything out. and for them to become really effective football players. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, we kind of got into the weeds on
A
tight
little
end.
bit.
I love football so much that I will talk about rookie tight ends that aren't going to do anything for like 3 years.
So you guys both picking Saints?
Yes, and on the
Yeah,
Rams,
sorry, buddy.
And just sorry, real quick on the Rams side, Skronik, yeah, you got to throw Skronik out there. Like he's going to be a pretty
Van
decent-
Jefferson,
I
Lance
wouldn't touch
McCutcheon.
I wouldn't touch those.
Van Jefferson. Hey, Van Jefferson looks good. Van Jefferson looks. So here's the thing: Van Jefferson is much more talented than Ben Skowronek. They like him as a route runner.
I was going to say different skill sets.
He's going to be forced. I kind of disagree with that. I feel like
Van Jefferson's more the down the field guy, and Skronik's more the short yardage guy.
disrespectful this man is.
I agree.
Van-
I'm just seeing what I say, or telling you what I see.
I agree with Brian on that.
The word out of from what I've been reading is that they're excited for Van Jefferson and his opportunity. So
that sounds like
I-
a fluff piece right there.
He's been talked about a lot since they got him. He's just been hurt.
Oh no, he's had a couple of years where
He's very Kadarius Toney like to me.
he's very role playing.
Well,
He's a
no, I-
role player. He's not much more than that to me.
To me, I think he is a weapon. Like when I say he's Kadarius Toney like, look at Kadarius Toney and what he did in New York, and now look at him 2 weeks into Kansas City. Right? And now you're looking at him in 2 weeks in Kansas City.
He had flashes in both places, though.
He had flashes in New York. Well, he's going to get used
Van
now in Kansas
Jefferson
City.
has never
He's going
flashed.
to get an opportunity. Van Jefferson has flashed for sure.
Ray, has Van Jefferson ever flashed? Like, has he looked like, oh my God, this guy's really good?
Yeah, I feel like he had. Maybe this season, no, but yeah,
You think he has in the past? All right, that's fair.
So they like his route running ability. Is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like I expect him to get more targets. Like I would. So
Then Ben Skronik.
here's what I'd say.
Wait, I'm smelling bet.
You ready?
On the bet.
I would expect Van Jefferson to get more targets than Allen Robinson.
What about Skronik?
Well,
That's the bet I want.
I think that sure, I'll take that one.
Yes. All right. I
All
love it.
right.
That was targets, not catches.
And on a
Targets, not
Rams,
All right, targets.
Rams game, yeah.
Hey, we just made that Rams Saints game exciting. How about that? You're
What a
welcome.
punk.
You're welcome, buddy.
I'll take it.
I knew he would.
I'm really curious to see how this game turns out as far as the bench.
Can you write our picks down while you're up there, dude? You lazy sack of shit.
Would you really? All you have to do is pick the Lone Wolves.
start the next game? You want to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, we do. The fantasy bonanza game? Hell yeah, let's talk about that while you're not paying attention.
So next up, Fantasy Bonanza, Lions at the Giants.
I love this game. All over this game.
Lions are at +3. The over/under at 45. +145 if you're betting on the Lions, and -170 if you're betting on the Giants.
So, Jared Goff has been looking a lot better the last couple of weeks. And it's looking more and more like he's going to be able to come through and get that mega deal in Tampa Bay after Tom Brady retires.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Tom Brady's playing until he gets kicked out of the league.
actually, yeah, now that Tom Brady's divorced, he has no reason to retire.
And he lost all that money in that
He's got to make some money back.
cryptocurrency
Yeah.
or whatever, which is
Yeah,
kinda,
like I'm sure Tom Brady's hurting for money.
I don't know. They say he lost like 450 million in that whole thing.
Damn it.
And the crypto thing, yeah. I mean, I'll believe it when the exact numbers come out.
If
But
if that's true, that means he invested more than that into the cryptocurrency. And
well,
what is that? So, like,
so I don't know if you follow like market.
yeah, I know what's
and
going on with it.
If the rug got pulled underneath, he would have lost everything. Which it seems like that's what the
there's a
rug
lot-
got pulled underneath.
There's a lot of stuff going on with cryptocurrency right now. It's one of those things where, like, it was kind of a Wild West financial situation going on for a little while, and it's going to take a little while for it to get consolidated and all the big money, big money backers to
Well,
to figure everything out.
when a
and
rug
get
pull
rid of-
happens with crypto, there is no bounce back.
That's not true.
No, that's what it is. That's what a rug pull is when there will be
Let's
no.
not get into that.
Yeah, but I'm just explaining. If the
we'll talk
if this
about
was
that
a true
afterwards.
rug pull,
We'll
then
talk-
he lost it. It's gone.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, football. This game is really interesting to me because like the Lions have played really tough the last couple of weeks, and
Honestly, all year.
they've had some gaffes, dude.
They've had some huge mistakes. They've had some major problems, but they've
just
been
lapses.
playing hard.
They've had some. Their defense the last couple of weeks is actually the thing that's been more interesting to me.
Okay.
Because they were able to like now Justin Fields has been ripping everybody up, so let's not give them too much. Let's not crap on them too much for giving 30 points up to the Bears because everybody's doing that right now.
Right.
But they were able to shut them down when it mattered, and they were able to keep their offense in the game and give them a chance to win the game, and they were able to pull the game out. It was the first road win in Dan Campbell's coaching career. So
Sad.
will they get number 2 this week? I kind of don't think so. And with my bet for the Giants to win more games than the Dolphins, I'm kind
can't
of
afford to.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
obligated to think that the Giants are going to win here. No, I just think it's super interesting because in the beginning of the season, we were picking the Lions a lot. We liked the Lions. We were picking the Lions, and they kept losing. And we didn't like the Giants, and we kept picking against the Giants, and they kept winning.
And now we reversed, and
now we're
Yep.
here in
That's funny.
Yes, now we're here in a state where it's like where the Giants haven't done anything that that should give you like negative feelings about them this week. But then again, they still haven't played anybody.
yeah, no, Giants are still a bit of a paper tiger. I definitely agree with that. And Lions are playing hard, but it
Now,
is in
careful.
New
The last
York.
time we said we called the team a paper tiger, they won very unexpectedly.
Which one was that?
That was Minnesota last week.
Well, we called like 4 teams paper tigers last week. But
Did we? I'll have to go
yeah,
back and listen.
yeah,
to
we
that.
were kind of
mean.
we were laying it on thick there. But here, like I say, I kind of like the Lions, but I can't pick against the Giants here at home. So I guess I'm picking the Giants. Fantasy wise, Giants. I mean, Barkley looks fantastic. Jones looks like a decent spot start here.
Darius Slayton.
And Darius Slayton looks like his only target. And then on the Detroit side, looks like you're still starting Jamal Williams and not Swift, if you can help it. And then
Justin Jackson
St.
is
Brown.
getting more work than DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, that's like there's something going on there.
They play on the same team, in case you guys didn't know,
right.
and same position.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
anybody who doesn't
yeah.
know who Justin Jackson is, I don't blame you, but he's getting just as much
Or
work.
what team he
as-
plays for anymore.
Yeah. He's getting it. Yeah. He's getting
been
more
everywhere.
work than DeAndre Swift. So
Yeah.
don't know what's going on there. Couldn't be more happy that I traded him away in Dynasty. Like seriously, feel like I just got away with one in that deal. Boy, that's frustrating. So the Giants have been really tough defensively, so I think this is a game where you should probably temper your expectations for Amon or St. Brown, but obviously you're still starting him. But other than that, I don't want any of the Giants or the Lions' weapons.
Not even Jamal Williams.
I'll
Okay.
start Jamal. I'll start
St. Brown.
St. Brown.
But that's all you
That's
want.
really
Yeah.
it.
No, I agree with that.
And that's what really makes me think that I kind of like the Giants in this game.
Yep. Same
Because on the other side, you expect Saquon to have a really big day. You expect Daniel Jones, who's been playing solid football,
To have a
and
decent day. Yep.
And you know what? And I killed him at the beginning of the year, and I'll stand by that. He played awful at the beginning of the year, but he has played better football. He's played tough. He's played smart. He's he's made plays when the opportunity has presented itself for him.
Hasn't
So-
even tripped over his own feet this year.
Nope, he has not gotten caught up by the turf monster yet this year. So
All right.
I
So
like
Ray,
the
you taking Giants too?
Yeah. We all picking Giants?
Yep, that's everybody.
I thought somebody for sure was going to pick the Lions.
Nah, too much this week. If it was the Lions at home, then then it would be
agreed.
interesting.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Because they just see them as a dome team, so they're
Yeah.
going to play in the cold New York, and
Yeah.
So the next game up, we got the Raiders at the Broncos. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this game. The Raiders are at +3. The over/under at 41. If you're betting on the Raiders, you're at +120, and if you're betting on the Broncos, you're at -140.
So here's what I have to say about this game. The Raiders suck.
Broncos aren't much better.
Okay,
no, they're not
but-
better at all.
No, but they have the number one defense in the league. Like the Denver defense,
Denver's defense
is number
good.
one.
Denver's defense is good.
Now, I think their offense is number 31 or number 32, but
It's
But
so
here's-
funny, isn't it? Just like Seattle with Russ,
Oh,
like
God.
in his beginning years. It's remember before the years of let Russ cook.
Yeah.
like there was when they had the Doom, like the Legion of Boom. Those teams were all about defense, and you just kind of like Russell Wilson would he'd put up points here and there, but he was not he was nowhere near a fantasy stud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just it really kind of feels like we're doing that again. Like where you just come on, Russ, can't you fucking score 20 points? Like if you just score 20 points, we win every game. Like,
Yep.
The Broncos are the Broncos I think are 3-6 right now, giving up less than 17 points a game.
yep, exactly.
Sad.
Yes. But all that said, the last few times I've seen Russell play, still bad, still not what we expect of him, but it seems like it's a little better. It seems like he's growing into the system a little bit, at least protecting the ball more. You know what I mean? Like, if he can make that offense a number 20 in the league offense, and then that defense stays the way it is, they're going to start winning some games. And I think that might be where they're at. So, you know, that's not a huge compliment towards the Broncos, but I do think they're getting better. Oh, and I'm sorry. There's one story I do want to bring up though that gives me a little pause on Russell Wilson, and that's the fact that his audibles. Did you hear this story? Oh no! Some of the audibles during the game. He starts. He sees a certain defense, and he starts to audible, and he's audibling in the Seattle system. So he starts throwing out a Seattle audible to the Denver Bronco team, and they're just like,
What are you talking about?
What the F do you want us to do?
For real?
Yes. Like that's not that's
heard
not an official report. That's something that was leaked from one of the players that somebody's reporting. So we don't know for sure, but it does seem to explain a little bit. Just wanted to throw it out there.
Okay, so are you guys picking the Raiders?
No, I'm taking
Hell
Broncos for
no.
sure. I'm starting Cortland Sutton. I may be starting Gordon if you really have to. You can start.
Okay,
Russ
this is
if you really have
the
to,
last
but-
week. Like you start Cortland Sutton with confidence this week. Then when he does not produce at least 15 PPR fantasy points this week, drop his ass.
Really?
Oh yeah, because if he's not, Judy's out.
No, I know, but I'm just. Like I say, this is an offense to me that is progressing. So it would be even if Sutton scored,
I
had 2
disagree
catches.
with that assessment.
Okay.
I disagree with that assessment.
All right.
I don't think they're progressing at all. I don't think this offense is gonna figure it out this year. I don't think they're gonna get better. If Cortland Sutton can't come through for you in a game with no Jerry Jeudy, you need to drop him.
All right. Like I said, I don't agree with that quite, but I definitely
Of course you don't. You bet on him.
I understand the sentiment and I get where you're coming from. And then on the Raiders side, you have to start Josh Jacobs, but God, I don't like it in this matchup.
I don't like Devontae Adams in this matchup either. He's going to get a lot of Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, but you got to start him. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah, I'm
can't-
just saying.
you can't bench him.
I'm
so-
just saying, not DFS. I'm not
Yeah.
starting DFS.
So, DFS, this is a game you want to stay away from.
Yep.
But yeah, Denver at home versus the hapless Raiders. They're going to win it.
Cool.
We
can move on.
all agree
Right. Let's move on. Cowboys at Vikings.
to the game of the week.
Cowboys are at -1.5. The over/under at 48. Over/under at 48. I'm sorry.
The Cowboys should not be favored in this game.
If you're betting on the
No.
Cowboys, -125, and if you're betting on the Vikings, +105.
How are the
They-
Cowboys favored in this game?
Because they are perceived as the better team. So despite the records, obviously the Vikings have 2 games
the
on the
Vikings
Cowboys.
just beat the Bills.
Just beat the Bills, but a lot of their wins seem
typically
haphazard.
you get a home bump. You know,
I know.
So-
But if you look at the way the Vikings been winning, have been winning, like too many of their games look like flukes. Look like, wow, they got lucky there.
Yeah.
Look like, wow, ooh, if
There's a
that-
lot of
you know what
Kirk
I mean?
Cousins games, though.
even
Yeah.
well,
a lot
so
of Kirk Cousins games are like, oh, look like a fluke.
my thing about that is that they had the opposite problem last year, where they lost a lot of those games. They were in all of their games, and they just fucking found a way to lose at the
true.
end of the game.
That is true.
So it's just kind of, it's just things, the universe balancing out. So, but at some point that'll stop, and they have won, I think, 7 consecutive games by 7 or less points, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was already going to pick the Cowboys in this game anyway, but whatever. Fantasy wise, I'm not as excited about this game. Zeke might not play.
What about CeeDee Lamb?
What about Pollard?
CeeDee Lamb's awesome.
Yes, and he plays a lot out of the slot, and Minnesota tends to not defend the slot very well. So I hear a lot of people predicting big things for CD this week.
He's gonna have he's gonna have a big year the rest of the season, because like that in that Green Bay game, Dak showed that he was willing to lean on him,
Okay.
willing to go to him over and over and over again in a way that he really hasn't done in CD's career.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if he continues to do that, CD is going to be a top 5 receiver the rest of the season.
Okay. Like I said, CD is a hard one for me. He is supposed to be the superstar. Everyone expects him to be this
He
superstar.
is a star.
I don't know, man. Like the game, I don't know, man. Some of the times I've truly watched a Dallas game and been like, okay, let's see what CD can do. I've not been impressed. I don't know. I could be in the minority there. Maybe I'm watching the wrong games. I don't know.
Yeah, you should go back and watch that Monday night game with New York.
Okay, in if it's certain games that you have to point
But
out
no,
for CD,
that's just the catch of the year probably.
Oh well,
That
okay.
that touchdown catch was amazing. Like that.
Not over Jefferson's catch this last week. I mean, come on.
Okay, so was the
Second best catch of the
was
year.
the David Tyree catch the catch of the year in 2007?
Not over that Jefferson catch. That was awesome.
No, and
I know.
it was, but it's the same. It was the same. It was like he happened to have his hand on the ball,
Yeah.
and it worked out for him. Whereas, like you remember the end of that Super Bowl with David Tyree, the helmet catch, and it's just like it was miraculous. But it's like, okay,
But that's what we're talking about. Is the miraculous. But
does he make? Yeah, and so CD has his moments as far as that concerned.
Okay.
I'm more worried about the things like I said. I was upset with him for not running his route better. Like, that interception where he was the targeted receiver on both of those Dak interceptions. One of them was CD's fault, and one of them was Dalton Schultz's fault. And the one that was CD's fault, you could see that he didn't based on his reaction when the interception happened. You could see that he didn't expect Dak to throw the ball. And he was frustrated that Dak had thrown the ball. That's not your job.
right.
Your job. It's not your job to decide when Dak throws the ball.
Exactly.
It is your job to run a crisp route every single time.
And be ready just in case.
Yes,
Yeah.
it-
Even if
yes.
it's not supposed to go your way, stuff happens.
It's yes,
And it might have
and
to
you
go
need
your
to
way.
make the play.
Exactly.
So that stuff frustrates me. But he's still 23.
No.
And that's
Is he 23? Wow,
yeah,
that's super young.
He's
Okay.
really young. Those things I think are things that he'll clean up as he gets older.
Okay.
But yeah, he can make all the plays. All the plays.
All right. Like I say, to me, he's got to prove it still, but he's definitely well on his way. So you're definitely starting CD on Cowboys side.
Dalton
you're
Schultz,
starting
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Zeke might not play. And then on the other side, Dalvin Cook.
And Dak. You're definitely playing.
Oh,
Dak
Dak should have a monster game, actually, I think, in this game. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Like
It feels like a high
to me, it's
game.
either this game or the Giants-Lions game that's going to be the highest-scoring game of the week. And and I lean towards this one over the Giants-Lions game because that one's outdoors in New York, and it's going to be cool.
Okay. And Vikings side, Dalvin Cook could be sneaky good. Actually, when you were telling me
Definitely played Dalvin
you,
Cook,
you were naming some of the Dallas stats against the run earlier. If you notice, I disappeared for about 2 minutes on my phone over here, going, can I fit Dalvin Cook in my lineup somehow? Because I was definitely trying to squeeze him in. So Dalvin Cook. Let's see.
Adam
Hawkinson
Thielen, I think, is a really good play this weekend.
over Hawkinson.
So
Here's the thing: is I think
the reason I think
it's
Adam Thielen is a good
or
play
Hawkinson.
this week is because last week everybody was all right now everybody's just in love with Christian Watson, and he just scored another 2 touchdowns last night, so that's not going to stop anytime soon.
Okay.
The Packers receiver.
Right. That's why I was confused.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because Alan Lazard got shut down in that game because he got locked up by Trayvon Diggs. So I think Trayvon Diggs is going to spend a lot of time on Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to follow Justin Jefferson around. Now, obviously you're still starting Justin Jefferson, but Trayvon Diggs is a really good cornerback, and so you should temper your expectations if he's going to turn himself into a traveling cornerback. Like I'm going to lock down your number one guy, because he did. Alan Lazard was just nowhere to be seen in most of that game. And on the other side, Christian Watson went bananas and had 3 touchdowns. So I could definitely see Adam Thielen getting more opportunities in this game. He already gets at least 7 targets every single game. I could see this being like a 10-target game for Adam Thielen and like at least 1 touchdown.
And definitely possible, but here's what I've seen lately is Thielen has been taking a step back all year long. Like, he's not the same
His
Thielen.
targets are still there.
But whatever, his results are not.
The results are the same. He's a touchdown dependent guy.
And how many touchdowns has he scored? I think it's up to 2.
I know yes. I know that.
That's huge. So here's what I'm saying is I think that Thielen is regressing, and he's just not the receiver he was last year or the year before. And I think that's why they went so aggressively after Hawkinson. And for Hawkinson to have the targets that he's had in the last 2 weeks, not knowing the system, coming in fresh, I really feel that they're going to start leaning on him. Like, Hawkinson could really be the number 2 target in this offense.
I don't disagree with that.
And the number 1 target for touchdowns.
I'm just talking about for this game in general.
The Cowboys
Cowboys have been good against, and I wouldn't. Because the Cowboys have been good against tight end and bad against number 2 wide receivers.
Okay. There you go.
Why I'm there.
I like the analysis, man. I like it.
So
all that being said, give me the Vikings, baby.
You're picking Vikings?
I get the lone wolf on my voice?
Yeah,
All right,
you do. Honestly, this is a very 50-50 game for me. Like, this
I'm picking the Vikings
very much go either way. But I'd be very uncomfortable picking either team in this situation. And so, if I have that kind of a situation, then, I'm going to pick against the Cowboys. Screw that.
That's kind of where I was at. All right, next up we have Bengals at the Steelers. Bengals are at -3.5. The over/under at 40. If you're betting on the Bengals, you're at -180, and if you're betting on the Steelers, you're at +155.
All right, let's take the Steelers and move on.
Obviously.
Now, like I said, the Steelers are at home here. Steelers did beat Cincinnati week 1 in a really tough game. We have our defense back. I'm sorry, Cincinnati is favored by how much?
3.5.
3.5. Okay, so basically, if this was in Cincinnati, they'd be favored by 6.5 or 7. And because the Steelers have the home field advantage, we're only 3.5. I'd give us a real chance to win here. Obviously, we're the underdog for a reason. Cincinnati has definitely been picking it up as we move on here. This isn't a game like I'd go out and bet all my money on the Steelers, but I think the Steelers have a better chance than most people think. I think that defense is going to do a job. I think this is going to be a very defensive game. I'd take the under on it. And I'd give us a pretty good chance, man. I think it's a 50-50 game, and I'm definitely taking the Steelers on this one.
I'd love to see the Steelers win.
Yeah, dude, to sweep Cincinnati, that would be nice. And I'm just saying, we've got some momentum behind us. Our defense is really come together. So fantasy-wise, Steelers, Harris and Jalen Warren are two running backs. That's definitely a decision there. Harris proved last week that he's still the number one, but at the same time, Jalen Warren got a lot more work. So this is going to be more of a committee backfield than the Steelers have actually ever run in a while. I think a big part of that is because Harris is still kind of hurt and nursing that foot injury. So you have to be careful there. I definitely still start Harris, but now you're talking more of a flex. And Jalen Warren is somebody you only start if you absolutely have to. And on the receivers side, I mean, honestly, you can start Deontay Johnson.
No,
but
you can't.
You
Stop
can't-
telling people
no,
that.
You can
Stop
start him,
Deontay Johnson.
but
You
he's
can-
not a great.
You can start George Pickens.
You gotta let me finish. He's not a great start right now. He's got a good floor, but not a good ceiling, and so he's
No
very
ceiling.
much flex.
There's no ceiling.
and you gotta watch out. And then Pickens, he's definitely become the number one target with Pickett back there,
and he gets the
And
gadgety
so-
plays that Claypool was getting.
for sure. So I mean, you can start him, but again, not thrilled to start him, but you can. Cincinnati side, just real quick, Mixon's a start. And you can basically start all the usual suspects.
Also,
on the
Cincinnati is
side.
missing Cheeto Uzie,
Okay.
their best corner. So that's another reason I like George Pickens.
His name is Cheeto.
Yeah, Chidobe.
Oh, I was like, Cheeto, really? Okay,
He's a former Cowboy.
all right. So I went over all the basics there on the matchup. Is there anything like in particular you want to throw out there?
No, that
Phil?
was it. Just the cornerback wide receiver matchup there.
Okay.
I think that it's probably a little better than it appears on paper for George Pickens.
Okay.
And you're picking Bengals, right?
I am going to pick the Bengals
Okay,
in this game.
so I got that right.
All right.
Are we moving on?
Let's move on.
Oh, DJ Reader's back for the Bengals, so their rush defense is going to get a boost.
Okay.
All right, next up we got the Chiefs at the Chargers. Chiefs are at -5. The over-under at 52. If you're betting on the Chiefs, you're at -225. And if you're betting on the Chargers, you're at +190.
And the over-under is at 52 because we're expecting that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are going to play. Mike Williams for sure, but Keenan Allen we don't know yet because is he ever going to play?
You heard Mike Williams for sure?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's news to me. And Mike Williams was out for, what was the injury? Do you remember?
No. I want to say it was an upper leg injury.
Okay. Because, like the hamstring, like Keenan Allen's coming back from the hamstring, and that's just, God, you always come back slow. You can re-injure. He already has re-injured. Like, it's an issue. So even if Keenan Allen is back, I'm still like, not like slamming him into my lineup. You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh, maybe. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, Mike Williams was a knee. I remember it now.
Oh,
It was,
okay.
It was it was a pretty ugly injury when it happened, but it ended up just being a knee strain.
And just because it's leg, it worries me a little bit that they might be, bringing him back slow, but they need somebody for this week. And so even if they can get somebody, either Mike Williams or Keenan Allen on one side, just so they can give Josh Palmer a chance on the other, I think they're going to do that. So I think there's a good.
I think they do come back. I think they're both going to play. I think this is the game where like Herbert finally gets on track because he's looked good,
I hope you're right.
but the points he hasn't just produced fantasy wise. And I think he's going to this week.
Oh man, my money league sure hopes you're right, brother. Because I took Herbert real early in that league, and man, he has not been paying off this year.
In our league of record, I really need him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need him to be the force that we expected him to be. I need 30+ points from him.
All right. So that's why you're predicting.
So are we all picking Chiefs on this?
I will take the Chiefs on this. The Chiefs are just too hot. Mahomes is looking too good, even without Juju. I think the Chiefs are going to be great.
I am too going to take the Chiefs.
Okay, are we done with this game?
It was like there's not a whole lot of questions about it. Like
Yeah.
we don't know if Juju's going to play. We don't like there's injury.
No, we
questions.
know he's not going to play.
He's out.
I'm sorry, it's not 100%, but
Yeah, it's a
it's
concussion.
a 5% chance. Like,
I would expect him not to play.
given the circumstances,
Yeah.
I just can't imagine.
And so Kadarius Toney, you can light up Kadarius Toney. They really they like him a lot. I expect him to to get more work.
Yep, agreed.
MVS is still kind of hurt.
Who cares?
Mecole Hardman's still kind of hurt. So yeah, I think Kadarius Toney is worth a start in this game. I really like Isaiah Pacheco. He had 16 carries for over 80 yards last week. And like, if you get a Chiefs running back that's getting 15 plus touches, you should just start him.
Yes, sir. That's what we always thought Clyde was going to be, and just has never
exactly.
been. So.
And Pacheco is more fun to watch run the football. I don't know if you've actually watched him.
I watched
play.
a little bit.
He's he's a wrecking ball. Like he out there to hit people. I like him a lot.
I like it, and it's a good
I think I might have said this. He really reminds me of Kareem Hunt. Like
Kareem Hunt.
he does. Like he's got a similar physical build and his just like wrecking ball running style. Like Kareem Hunt, when he runs the ball mean.
Okay.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next game. The Monday night game, San Francisco at the Cardinals in Mexico City.
Mexico City.
Yeah. Spread is 49ers -8. The over-under is at 43.5. If you're betting on the 49ers, you're at -316. If you're betting on the Cardinals, +295.
Bet on the 49ers.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think it was it last week or 2 weeks ago that I was totally going off on the Niners, like, oh my God, they're a Super Bowl team or could be a Super Bowl team. And then, of course, they come out the next week and we're like very mediocre. I was like, what the hell is that? Oh, that's right. They had a bye week, and then last week they came out mediocre. They did win, but they did not look nearly as good winning as I thought they would.
But
I still have confidence, though.
That was but that's what gave me pause about picking the Chiefs over the Chargers. Because maybe the Chargers,
Maybe they're coming around. Yeah. No, honestly, and Chargers are one of those teams that you expect it to be better than what they were. And any minute you feel like they could turn it around. So I get that.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if they won, if they beat the Chiefs. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Me either. No, I think that's a closer game than most people think. But here with the Niners, like, I really think that Niner team is good, man.
The only thing I really want to talk about with them is Debo.
Okay. Let's talk about.
What's going? What do we expect from Debo now?
Well, we've only seen 1 week with him with CMC, so we don't know yet.
Yeah, I know.
We just don't know.
So what should we expect? Come on, tell me.
I expect goodness. I expect something really impressive out of that San Francisco offense. Now,
Yeah. So my
who are
thoughts
the big
were
stars or whatnot? That's hard to say, but that's the thing is McVay has so many pieces to play with now that, man, like, something's good's going to happen there.
Yeah, I know, and that was so my thoughts on like not wanting to like run away from him and trade him when when CMC came over. We're like, well, I really feel like his opportunities probably aren't going to go down that much. Like they're going to take some of the load off of him in the rushing game, but he should have better opportunities and more chances to score.
Yep.
So I'm still hopeful that's going to happen. But man, but Brandon Ayuk continuing to have 7 targets a game really frustrates me.
We'll see how that goes. I mean, when you say continuing, that's one game since CMC's. We'll see. But
Brandon Ayuk had with Jimmy G.
Right. I'm sorry. Since
has,
CMC and Debo back,
I think it's like 4 games with 7+ targets.
Okay. I'm not a big believer in Ayuk right now, especially with the way that offense is going to be coming together. I think I could be wrong. Maybe it is a little bit more spread out.
Really good,
but I would expect Ayuk's numbers to go down. If I was an Ayuk owner, I would be trying to trade him.
It makes me feel good as a Debo owner.
All right, so Cardinals side,
man, they suck.
Connor, if you have to, you're gonna definitely do Hopkins.
So
That's
Marquise
it.
Brown should play. He's been back at practice.
He's been back at practice. We don't know if he's going to play. It's a huge maybe.
He was back at practice on Wednesday.
And this is
I expect him to play.
This is the Monday night game, so like you have to be like.
I'm just saying, like he was at practice on Wednesday,
And it was oh god, what was it? I want to say it was ankle sprain. What was the injury?
his was an ankle injury.
High ankle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so high ankle sprain. So coming back a little slow, like man, like that's not where I'd be wanting to go right now.
I'm just saying he's
but
there
very soon.
So like
next week.
even I'm just saying,
I've got him everywhere.
As soon, in my opinion, as soon as he plays and plays meaningful snaps, like
He's going to be great.
the ceiling drops on DeAndre Hopkins.
A little bit. I think the ceiling rises on the Arizona offense by quite a bit. I think having Hopkins on one side and Hollywood on the other is going to be
Maybe, but that's
Impressive.
not. But that hasn't really been the issue I've seen with the Arizona offense. They just seem to make mistakes.
okay.
Have you watched have you watched Hard Knocks?
I have not seen the mid-season Hard Knocks. I do want to check it out, but I haven't watched it
I
yet.
haven't either, but I'm definitely going to do it this weekend because my buddy was telling me about it, and apparently the back and forth between DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray is hilarious. Like DeAndre Hopkins going, "Hey man, what were you looking at?" Like when on plays, and him go, "Shut up, man! I'm trying the best I can."
Oh wow.
Like
Okay, now I want to watch that.
Yeah,
Like if that's a thing, I want to see that.
exactly. So it's one of those. And when I heard, I was like, I was already kind of out on Arizona's offense, but they've got that kind of stuff going on. Like I'm not. No, I don't have any faith that they're going to
A little bit more credence to the rumor about Kyler just wanting to play video games and not want to play football.
There's a huge difference between Kyler Murray getting his weapons back and a guy like Tom Brady getting his weapons back. You know what I mean? So for me mentally, like, yes, Kyler Murray is getting a huge talent back when he gets Marquise Brown back, but that doesn't, I swear to God, that doesn't make me think anything more of the Cardinals offense. That just makes me think that they're the middling statistics that they're producing right now are going to become even more like fanned out. Because what I see from them is just mistakes.
Okay, yeah, and like that's totally legit because that has been happening. I just want to say when Marquise Hollywood Brown comes back, I expect a much better offense here in Arizona. I think it's a decent, like okay offense now, and I think it's going to take two steps forward.
And see, I think they're a terrible offense right now, and they might be a decent offense when Marquise Brown comes back.
Fair enough.
I would expect them to score 20 points a game when Marquise Brown comes back.
Wow. So you love Arizona. Okay.
I don't at all.
God, I know, and everything you're saying makes me want to take Arizona here.
I'm so out.
Just to like
Go ahead.
just to go against you.
Do
but
it.
No,
dude.
no,
'Cause
not
the 49ers
not
are
in this
gonna
one.
crush them so bad.
Not in this one.
I think the 49ers are going to smash them.
Yeah.
This is one of those games that
It's a divisional game. I don't think it's going to be
a divisional
smash,
game.
but-
On paper, it appears that the teams are like somewhat kind of close, but to me, this is one of those, like Ray likes to talk about, controller games. Mm-hmm. To me, this is one of those where like you're gonna, like, the 49ers are on an upward trajectory.
Yes.
And you're going to see it. You're going to see that the 49ers are moving forward and just how bad the Cardinals are. I think that this is one of those games.
Yeah. It'll be a good. Yeah, it'll be a good game to watch and kind of see where things are at.
If you're a 49er fan, it's a good game to watch.
And it's Monday night, so you have no choice but to watch.
Yep, it's the only one on TV. Yeah, if you're a 49er fan, this is a good game to watch.
Yeah.
I think, personally.
So we have some good wishes coming in from our YouTube channel. We have
Hey, thanks.
Kenny Staytrill, who I think is a first timer for our channel.
What's up, Ken?
Welcome, bud.
Saying, he's asking, hope all is well and all is good, and we're hoping good wishes for you too, man. He also wants to know if he can ask some questions, and of course you can. We're here
dude,
for
we
that.
love questions.
Absolutely.
Any questions you want to throw us, we'll get to them as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Juan, who is just saying,
I know that guy.
Hope
Happy
he's having a good
Thanksgiving, buddy.
night. So we got two questions coming in. So first off, Kenny wants to know, pick a wide receiver and a flex out of these pool of players: Devontae Smith, Adam Thielen, G. Pickens, Tony Pollard, and M. Gordon. Keep in mind that A.J. Brown and T.J. Hawkins are starting. Also, Kenny, are you in a PPR league or not? We need to know that. But go ahead. What you got?
For me, it'd be Devontae Smith and Adam Thielen this week.
Wow. It's funny because I came up with two completely different names. I was like, well, that's Pickens and Pollard for sure, right?
Hey, so he said he's starting
Hey,
AJ
he's
Brown.
full PPR.
He said he's starting AJ Brown. So AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are teammates.
And A.J. Brown is very, very iffy.
I don't think he
Right.
did mention he's starting AJ Brown.
I thought he said that Hawkinson and AJ Brown were starting.
Oh, maybe maybe
read-
that's what
read
he
it one
meant.
more time.
Maybe that's what he meant. Okay, pick a wide receiver and a flex out of these pool of players: Devontae Smith, Adam Thielen, G. Pickens, Tony Pollard, and M. Gordon. Keep in mind AJ Brown and T.J. Hawkinson starting.
Yeah. So if Zeke doesn't play, you got to play Tony Pollard. But from those two, I like Pollard and Thielen this weekend. If you didn't have AJ Brown, I would want to start Devontae Smith. That's a tough one. That one feels kind of bad because, like I said, AJ Brown's a little hurt. Devontae Smith might get a little more work. That's a tough situation to be in. But that's what I would do there is I would start Thielen and Pollard because I expect there to be points in that game.
And to me, this like that seemed easy as we were going down the line of names. It was just Pickens and Pollard were the two that I picked out, and the rest were like, no, okay, those are my two.
Yeah, I just like Thielen this weekend. Like
And like I said, we talked about
Yeah.
that, and I leaned toward Hawkinson getting the stuff on that during getting the
I think Thielen is more likely to score than Pickens, and that's the reason I picked Thielen over Pickens.
Can we do Thielen versus Hawkinson for a bet? Come on,
No,
come on.
I'm not. No, I'm not doing that one.
Fine.
I want no part of that.
Whatever.
Our second question is: are Slayton and Campbell both must starts this week?
I think so. Yeah.
And must start.
You'll see that in my DFS
I
lineup.
was gonna say must start depends on what you have on your team. Like to me, those are two must starts as like a number
this week,
three wide receiver.
This week, I think they
or
are
flex.
with buys and stuff like that. You're missing so many receivers. There's no Tampa receivers. And there's no Seattle receivers.
Team makeup is everything. You never know who's on the team. I'm
right.
just saying, but these are guys that are usually fringe players that are more on the
Hey,
playable side.
if these
this
guys
week.
aren't must starts on your team, kudos.
Well, thank you.
You
All right.
know?
I think I'm sitting them in both my leagues, but
Like,
And then Fields or Herbert full PPR.
ooh, good situation to be in. I would. Ooh, man, good situation
that's
to
a
be
good
in.
one. Wow.
I think you have to go Fields. I would not be surprised if Justin Herbert, like I said, I think this is the week that Justin Herbert has his best game of the season so far, at least.
And you're picking
Because-
against him.
But the ceiling is just higher on Justin Fields.
Well, and the floor is higher. Like
I think the floor is higher.
you don't think so? Like
No.
I think that
No, the
Fields
floor. No, the floor's still lava. Like with Justin Fields, because he can get all the rushing and he can get all the what happens when he has 130 yards rushing, 140 yards passing, and 3 interceptions.
Right. Okay, let me throw the scenario out for you then. Herbert, we come in Sunday morning, and Allen is playing. So is
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams on the other side. And they both look good. Like we don't think they're limited.
They're both playing.
They're playing and playing full.
I'll take Herbert.
Now you take Herbert.
Yeah.
So that's how close it is, and I think that's what it would take for me to take Herbert too. I think if both those players going in and are like, oh my gosh, these guys look strong, they're definitely going to play, then I take Herbert. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the odds of that are very low right now, and
I
so I
lean
think
toward-
you
yeah.
have to take
Yeah.
Fields this week and then move on for next week. That's what I think.
Yeah, if I'm in that place to decide, I'm choosing Fields.
But good
and
decision to have, man.
Yeah, really good place to be in. And honestly, dude, to be flat out honest with you, this is the last week of trades for most leagues. What I would really be trying to do is trying to trade Justin Fields in redraft leagues. Like I have him in Dynasty, and I ain't letting it go with that guy ever.
Right.
But in redraft leagues, Justin Fields isn't like if you're
Even in Dynasty, I'd rather have Herbert.
Justin Fields is an excellent piece to trade because for a lot of people who have him, he was your second quarterback and he just sat on your bench and you just happen to pop off. Justin Herbert has an excellent playoff schedule. He's going to get his guys back. You know what he's going to do week in, week out. He's going to do it with his arm. He doesn't have to do it with his legs. and when he produces touchdowns, they're just monster games for him.
And Fields has been on fire to the point where even the people that don't really pay attention realize that, oh wow, this guy's something special.
Yeah, and what you could get for him right now, like off of a team that's been streaming,
better
a
than
team
usual.
that's playoff bound and it's been streaming quarterbacks all year long. Like you could definitely you could get a really like top 15 player.
And
wide
anytime
receiver
you can
back.
get a good piece for a quarterback,
Yep.
like
Win.
you're
That's a
in a
win.
good spot, man. So yeah, I mean, just
So
take
yeah,
that
that's
advice
our
and
our
float
advice
out a
would be
few
to start
trades,
Justin
man.
Fields over Justin Herbert.
But float out some trades and see if you can trade Fields.
Yep.
And if so, start Herbert. No big deal.
Yeah,
Would you follow a question to that is would you guys trade Fields for Jamal Williams?
no.
No, not Jamal Williams.
You can do better than
I
that.
expect
Like,
Swift to keep getting better.
Maybe like
as-
Damian Pierce.
Oh yeah, if you could get Damian Pierce,
that'd
I'd
be a
love
good
it.
one.
Jamal Williams just isn't like I say, he's not a permanent piece. He's not. Yeah. Close, but no.
All right. Well, that being said,
Wait, unless you're desperate at running back. If you're just like if you're hurting at running back, then hell, just go for it, man, because you've got another quarterback. So go for it.
Yes.
But like if he's like a backup piece, like I expect him to be, somebody that's riding your bench that you're going to put in here and there, then no. But if he's somebody you're going to have to start every week, do the trade.
Yeah, totally agree. The only caveat there for me would be like making sure that the team that's getting Justin Fields isn't becoming a team that I can't beat now.
I think that's less of a concern. Like
I'm just saying.
you don't know
like,
who your opponents are going to be, so you have to make your team better first and worry about
you
your
do
opponents
that.
later.
You do, but still, you don't want to create a juggernaut. And Justin Fields has the ability to do that to teams right now.
Good.
so next up, we're getting into the Turkey Day games. Thanks.
Oh, all right.
Woo, already that was quick.
Probably burn through these a little faster than the others because we don't know what's happening this week, so we don't have the context on these games. So unfortunately, we'll probably have to go through a little quicker on these.
We just got a question. So before I start
please.
the Turkey games, which two running backs should I start this week? Foreman, Drake, Robinson, or Connor?
I like Robinson.
Robinson for sure,
Yeah, like Robinson the best.
and then it's
in that
Connor
group,
or
Foreman.
Probably go Foreman this week.
The 49ers defense has been a little beat up. They were really good against Austin Eckler last week, though. They looked really good.
Yeah,
Like,
I'd take
that's-
Foreman this week.
That's yeah.
But next week it would be a different call because Chuba Hubbard coming back and all that stuff we were talking
Yeah,
about.
we were talking about
But-
that. We liked the Foreman show. Like you're gonna continue to write it, but you should have that thought in your mind that the show could end.
Yep.
But right now, you should start him based on what he's doing. Like just like Justin Fields, like you can have your reservations because like he's a player who hasn't proven himself. But based on what he's doing, you have to start him.
Yeah.
Like you just have to. He's putting up monster games. You have to start Foreman. And then I really like Robinson, Ryan Robinson against the Texans this weekend.
I agree with that thought process.
All right, on to the Turkey games. We're all caught up on
Gobble,
questions.
gobble.
First up, Buffalo at the Lions. Buffalo's minus 10. The over-under at 51.5. If you're betting on the Buffalo Bills, you're at minus 460. And if you're betting on the Lions, plus 370.
I feel like
Anyone want one more?
I feel like ever since Peyton Manning ripped up the Lions on Thanksgiving, you remember that game where he threw like 5 touchdowns in the first half or something like that?
Wait. 5 touchdowns against the Lions on Thanksgiving. You're going to have to be more specific, sir.
Exactly.
happened too many
Exactly. It
times.
happens all the time now. But I feel like I feel like the Lions game in the morning on Thanksgiving was a super boring game. I never like the most interesting thing that ever happened was that fucking coin flip with Jerome Bettis.
I do remember that one.
And that game was like a 20-17 game or something like that. It was not a compelling game. Like Lions games on Thanksgiving have not been compelling. But that one Thanksgiving, Peyton Manning just decided to torch the Lions. I think he ended the game with six touchdowns. And ever since then, I feel like it's been a thing. that teams just do. They show up on Thanksgiving
And just torch
and,
the
and their baller quarterback just torches the Lions. Like they can see
It's a
it.
Thanksgiving tradition to torch the
To
Lions.
See how, see how
love it.
bad you can beat up the Lions. And so my point in saying that is I feel like that's what's going to happen. Like Josh Allen's going to set a record or something like that. He's going to like throw for 7 touchdown passes, or he's going to score 7 touchdowns,
Yeah.
or it's like something like that. Josh Allen's going to have like a 400-yard 7 touchdown game.
I can't disagree with that. Like, that seems very likely.
Like and also he's going to be comfortable because they're playing in Detroit this weekend too. So he's going to be there
like a home game.
Yeah, he's going to be there all week. It's going to be his place by the time he leaves. That would be awesome. Actually, that's my prediction. Josh Allen's going to score 10 touchdowns in Detroit in the next 5
All right,
days.
so here's actually the next two games are actually both really good games. But Giants at Cowboys, like here's
wait,
game for the division.
who's picking
man.
the Lions?
Nobody.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So are we moving on to Giants and Cowboys?
Okay,
Yes.
none of you have had a stroke. Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to Giants Cowboys.
Still functioning over here. Thank you.
Giants.
There's a line for this already?
Yes. Giants are at +7. The over-under at... sorry, let me start that over. Giants at Cowboys. Giants are at +7. The over-under is at 43. If you're betting on the Giants, you're at +240. And if you're betting on the Cowboys, -285.
Dang. A lot of faith in the Cowboys right now.
This seems to be the game that, like, okay, are the Giants for real? Mm-hmm. That's what it seems like to me. I don't think they are. As much as I love picking against the Cowboys, I just don't think the Giants
Cowboys
are for
wrecked
real.
them on Monday night in New York.
Yeah.
Like they just demolished it. Like I think they set a record in that game for pressures against Daniel Jones. If I remember that right, it was absurd. They just they really got after him.
I feel like
And-
that's going to get ugly.
And the Giants, Daniel Jones has played better, but the Giants to me on offense don't seem overall better. Saquon Barkley is awesome. Daniel Jones has played better, but they don't have weapons really. They're just not a team that scares you. So yeah, I expect the Cowboys to beat them up on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I do too. That's what it looks like to me.
What do you think, Ray? Cowboys?
Yeah, I'm picking the Cowboys on this one. If they beat the Giants at home
And we try not to get too into the fantasy implications, because
on Thursday night
It's
games.
it's
know.
too far away, but
And you know what? Cowboys are really familiar with playing on Thanksgiving. So, I mean,
That's what we do. Tradition,
sir.
baby.
yep. So next up, we have this one might be a little bit more interesting to talk about. The Pats at the Vikings. If you are, hold on, let me see. Somebody sneaking a question. Yeah, they did. All right. So we have Adrian on YouTube asking, which one would you start this week? Kadarius Toney, Sutton, Boyd, Devontae Smith.
wow, I can see why you're asking questions because that's a group that's all in the same tier. There's no obvious answer
They
there.
all, they all have
wow.
interesting situations too, because
Exactly.
Devontae Smith has AJ Brown who's hurting in front of him, and then Tyler Boyd. There's still no Jamar
no
Chase,
Chase, yep.
and you'd expect most of the focus to be on Higgins. So Boyd theoretically could have a good
Boyd
game.
usually has good games.
And
when
then
one of them's out.
And then who else do we have on that list?
Devontae
Tony
Smith.
I like.
and Kadarius Toney.
I like Tony a lot. I think Tony's probably my favorite one
Oh
because
wow. Okay.
I expect that game to be high scoring, and I expect him to get high usage. So of that list that we just heard, I think Kadarius Toney is my favorite.
My problem there is that I think Tony might have shown out a little bit too much last week to where now with Juju gone, Tony's going to get a lot more attention from the defense.
Didn't you hear what Travis Kelce said about him?
What'd he say?
He said, I don't know what's going on in New York, but they shouldn't let this guy get out of the building.
Well, and that's cool, but I mean, that's what he's supposed to say.
I mean, I guess.
Amari Cooper's is number one.
Oh,
Wow. I was like, so everybody's in the same.
Amari Cooper on
tier.
the road. Yeah, Amari Cooper on the road versus that's funny because I might bench him over some of those guys.
God, I hate to do it over a road home split. that doesn't seem like a strong enough stat for me to bench
But
somebody.
it works.
Man, like you look at the stat, and it's like, well,
It's on point. It's so on point. It's ridiculous. It is
yeah.
ridiculous.
So
all right. So
So yeah, I actually I like Kadarius Toney. I like Devontae Smith in his list, and I think I like both of those guys better than I like Amari Cooper this weekend.
what about you, Brian?
I like Sutton. Sutton is my favorite out of that list.
I'm so scared of that one.
Dude. Well, all those names are scary. Like all those names are scary at one level, and
You need
all
to stop
those names,
disrespecting Devonta Smith.
all those names have
you
some
need
serious.
to stop disrespect. Like I'm
upside.
tired of you making me like
All right, Sutton versus Devontae Smith.
Devonta Smith.
So Sutton versus Devontae Smith this week
sure,
for a shot.
Sure.
All right, I got to put it on the board.
Ooh, we got a bet.
Put it on the board.
That had to be a bet this week.
And he also has Rondell Moore. Second question.
Yeah, I don't like Rondell Moore because like the Hollywood Brown situation makes that murky. Don't know what's going to happen there.
So another question we got from YouTube. Juan wants to know who's better start at tight end this week, Everett, Kittle, or Johnson?
You poor bastard. Probably. Well, Herbert's supposed to get all of his guys back. So I would say Kittle because Arizona has been terrible against tight end. That's just like that's what you do. You start Kittle. But Juwan Johnson's been awesome. Juwan Johnson's been awesome. They're missing a bunch of receivers. And he knows that.
said, "Man."
He's a Saints fan.
I'm sorry, Sutton versus who's your?
God, you don't even remember.
Sutton
Devonta
versus
Smith.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
So
so
so forgettable.
so next game up, the last turkey
You're
game.
so disrespectful towards Devonta Smith. It's like, at this point, I wonder if it's like if it's just a ploy, like you're just doing it to make me like
I can see the fun in
step
that.
up and speak up for an Eagles player, which I don't
will-
want to
I
do.
will
I can
say-
see the fun in that.
In my dynasty league, I traded
can
away.
too.
I traded away my first round pick this last year, and that first round pick would have turned into Devontae Smith. So I guess I am actively rooting against him because I don't want him to be good.
Okay, there the truth comes out.
So there might be a little bit of that in there somewhere,
Okay.
but we'll see how the bets go and see if I'm right.
You're so bitter for a guy who ended up with George Pickens.
No,
All right.
I love that in the second round too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And Pickens is way better than Devontae Smith. So
Next game up.
Smell a
is-
career bet.
5-year bet, put it on the board.
Next game up, we got the Patriots. The Patriots at the Vikings.
Patriots.
Patriots at the Vikings. Patriots are at plus 3.5. The over/under at 43.5. If you're picking the Patriots, you're betting at plus 155, and if you're picking the Vikings, minus 180. I'm going Patriots this game.
I've got 4 words for you. Kirk Cousins in primetime.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
So you're going Patriots?
I'm gonna go Patriots.
Oh, I finally get a lone wolf. Yes.
on Thanksgiving, and it's with Kirk Cousins in primetime.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
He's got a lone wolf on Kirk Cousins in
prime
primetime,
time.
gentlemen.
We're taking
Yes, got him. Oh yeah, dude.
all right.
Yeah, Bill Belichick versus Kirk Cousins in primetime. Oh, it's tasty.
See, I just
It's tasty.
The,
It's
the
like
circumstantial facts like that.
the percentage chance that a butt fumble could happen. Just
Hey, you know what though? With that particular stat is just on point with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, it's so
been
good.
On
It's just
point
like the Amari
year
stat.
over year.
that to me, that is just as dislikable as the home road split stat for Amari Cooper.
no, I agree.
But it works. God damn it, it works.
No, I agree. Makes no sense, but it
really
works.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really can't argue against it, you know. So hey, you guys want to have some fun and let's talk about Thanksgiving.
Okay. Like Thanksgiving.
What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Side dish? What Okay. What is like the one, like, is there like one thing where you're like, okay, as long as this side dish is at Thanksgiving,
Yes.
it's going to be a good Thanksgiving?
For my family, it's the side dish that my wife makes. It's green beans, bacon, and tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, well,
Very Hispanic.
Stewed tomatoes, or actually no, it's just stewed tomatoes. So you do that, and you put them all together, and you let them like simmer down for like an hour and a half, to where it makes the sauce a little thick. And man, it just makes for one heck of a side, and we all look forward to that every year. Like
That's awesome,
Like
dude.
we make extra of that, because like the leftovers for the next 2 or 3 days, like that is the staple. So that's mine.
Really? That's interesting.
Yep.
Who ate all the green beans?
Oh, dude, that's a thing. That's a thing.
That's awesome.
But I will say I'm going to smoke my turkey for the first time this year. So hopefully the turkey is
Smoked turkey's
a
delicious.
close second. So
Yeah. So, what about you, Ray? What's your favorite side?
Side dish, probably just plain potato salad. Just like a very plain. I don't want all that extra like raisins and all that other stuff that people have a tendency. Just your eggs and potato, like very plain.
what about like celery and
Olives.
No.
So just
No olives.
I could tolerate olives because just I like
oh, dude,
olives.
like
To me,
I
the-
like your version of a potato salad. Like
Yeah.
that's my jam right there. I love
Just
that.
very warm potato salad too. So growing up, my mother used to make potato salad, and we would get to it before it had a chance to cool down, not realizing that as an adult, potato salad is actually served cold. You know what I mean? So my wife thought I was kind of a freak for wanting, like, we
eat
would
it
get
after it was
potato
cooked?
salad and warm it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we got cold potato salad, we'd warm it up. We just, it was explained to us later, like, yeah, actually, you guys just never gave it a chance to cool down. Like you would just get into it before. And so, yeah, warm potato salad became a thing. So that's what I like. From a dessert perspective,
Okay. Oh,
I
no,
have-
hold on. Let's not go. Like, give me. I didn't. We
Oh, you didn't get yours. Okay.
Let me talk about my side, and then we
Yes,
talk,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
give me.
yes.
Jeez, this guy's excited, and I love it because Thanksgiving's the best.
it's one of my favorite holidays, if not my
Yeah,
favorite.
it is my favorite holiday. As a Cowboys fan, it's easy. You know,
Well, for me, like we're going into like a little bit. For me, Thanksgiving is one of those things where you're not obligated to be somewhere. Like Christmas, you have all your family obligations that you have to fulfill.
That's funny that you say that because I feel that Thanksgiving and Christmas for me in my adult life have been just as demanding as far as like family obligations go.
I think Christmas, it's more like you have to be at this house, this house, this house with this gift, this gift, this gift.
See,
and Thanksgiving, like you could just show up anywhere and you're always like welcome.
That's interesting. I've never thought about
Yeah.
crashing people's Thanksgivings, but maybe.
I mean, you're more likely to get an invitation to
We're so thankful you're here.
yeah. Well, you're more likely to get an invitation for Thanksgiving
Yeah.
than
Oh,
you are
yeah, for
than you
Christmas,
are
for
for
sure.
Christmas.
Absolutely.
It's more of a friends and family holiday, where Christmas is usually more tight in your inner circle, very inner circle type holiday. So I've always been a little bit more of a fan for Thanksgiving. So
So for me, I don't think there's a favorite side. I think there to me there has to be like a critical mass of things to eat because I like my favorite thing about Thanksgiving meals is that I go up there and I'll make my plate and then there's still like 3 or 4 other things that I want to get on my next plate. After I'm done eating this whole plate of food, I want.
yeah.
There's still a couple more things. So like, I love deviled eggs. I love
deviled eggs is fun.
Yeah,
Somebody brings that.
mashed potatoes, different stuffing. Like people who get into stuffing and like really make a good stuffing, that actually probably is my favorite thing. Like if I show up to a Thanksgiving dinner and someone's like, "You got to try my special stuffing," right away, sir. Where is it? Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan on stuffing, but stuffing has. There's a taste in stuffing, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's
Bread?
No, I don't know if it's a vegetable or some kind of spice.
Oh, the broth, maybe.
No, because I like broth. I can't imagine it's the broth. But I'll eat it with gravy. You know what I mean? I won't just eat it straight. What kind of gravy do you like? Do you like the country gravy or the brown gravy?
I only like breakfast gravy, so I don't typically have gravy on my food at Thanksgiving. So I'm a little bit of a weirdo that way. I do not do brown gravy.
Okay.
But yeah, basically everything else, turkey, ham,
So
mashed potatoes.
Ham is more of a Christmas dish, in my opinion.
No, ham belongs at Thanksgiving as well.
Usually there is a ham, but
Both.
In my adult life, it's been turkey for Thanksgiving.
as
ham
many
for
meats
Christmas.
as you can get on the Thanksgiving table. I understand that turkey has become like the centerpiece of Thanksgiving, and has been that way for very 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 long time. But I like ham better.
Oh, for sure. And we made ham our like family, like that's our meat for Thanksgiving for the last 4 or 5 years. And that's what we've been doing. And we're only doing turkey this year
'Cause you're
because I
gonna
got my
smoke it?
Traeger, and I'm just like, I want to smoke that. I want to see how it comes out. So
Also, like if you've had a deep fried turkey,
I have.
oh, so good.
Yeah, very
So
good.
Cajun turkey, Cajun turkey is good too.
Honestly, I was a little disappointed with the deep fried
That's
turkey.
a good
I thought it was going
idea,
to be something
Cajun turkey.
amazing, and it was just decent. But
Yeah. So,
desserts.
yeah, desserts. What about desserts? What's your favorite? What's your favorite Thanksgiving
apple
dessert?
pie, gotta love apple pie.
So on the pie front, my must-have for Thanksgiving is cherry pie.
Oh,
I love cherry pie.
Yeah,
I love cherry pie too, but
Cherry
that's like,
pie.
ooh, let's go back to the 80s.
Yeah. My family makes pumpkin rolls.
interesting.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, and they're like if you've seen them in like the grocery store and stuff like that. Whenever I see them in the grocery store, I just look over and I laugh.
Trash.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like it looks like a pumpkin roll, but it tastes nothing like the ones that my family produces. So, I think that's probably my favorite like dessert item to eat during Thanksgiving because that's when we first start. We only have them during the holidays, and so it's like 5 weeks of like being able to have pumpkin rolls.
5 weeks a year.
Yeah. So we're in that window now. Like I was just talking to my sister today, and they made pumpkin rolls last night to just to like practice because like usually my mom used to do it, and so they want to make sure that they have the recipe down right.
Nice.
So yeah, for people who don't know what a pumpkin roll is, it is a pumpkin bread sheet that you ice with a cream cheese frosting, and then you roll it up into a log, and then you slice it, and it is awesome. It is awesome. Are you guys light meat or dark meat guys?
Dark.
Sam?
Depends.
I'm a dark meat guy. I don't like to, so when we did the Cajun turkey, and then when we did the deep fried turkey, the white meat was juicy enough that I thought that it was actually good. It had taste to me, but I can't eat like dry meats. So like if
Without a little something on it. Yeah.
Right.
even with a little something on it, I don't like because I'm not a guy who likes
Okay.
like gravy and sauce. So no, the meat has to be moist.
Oh,
The meat has
and
to
I
be
heard
juicy.
you talking about gravy when I came in, and I just got to say, giblet gravy is the freaking best.
What is giblet gravy?
Giblet? Oh, it's brown gravy,
Uh-huh.
but you take the heart, the liver, the gizzard, all that good stuff from inside the turkey. You fry it up, and then you throw it into the brown gravy. Oh, it's so good.
Have you guys had a turducken?
I've
No, I have
never
not.
had it.
I've not had
one,
turducken.
I
yet.
want one so bad.
we'll have to.
I
try
would like
one
to
one
be
year,
part of
huh?
that experience. I'd like to be part of that experience.
We
yeah.
should do that, you guys. We should do
Just
a turducken.
1 year, just do.
We should do it. We should do it on Sunday. Let's all get together this Sunday and watch a football game with the turducken.
Okay.
I'll provide the turkey.
Okay.
I got one in the freezer right now.
Okay. I'll get a chicken.
Yeah, but
That means
how are
you
we
get
gonna
the
put it
duck.
all together, man? Like that's like a special thing to like put all that together into one thing and cook it together. Like that's
I don't think it's any more special than baking the turkey for Thanksgiving.
no, like putting them like that's.
I am here. Just let's lay it out. I will provide the turkey. I'm not going to cook. I will give it to you on your way
rough.
out the door if
rough.
you're up for that challenge.
I'll,
If not,
let me
I'll
sleep on
save
it.
the turkey
let me
for
talk,
some
let me
other
sleep
thing.
on it. I'll talk to my girlfriend.
Well,
And,
you got to kind of because that guy's turkey got to cut him out of the freezer.
No, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I said let me sleep on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll talk to you tomorrow about it.
Sure.
But yeah, I want a turducken. I want to have a turducken.
Are you available this Sunday? That'll.
not this Sunday.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
So let's not even plan it.
I have so much to do. It's not even funny.
It might be funny.
Oh yeah. Let me start listing it for you, and you'll just get depressed, man. And it's so much.
I took a shot. I took a shot at it.
Oh,
You know,
it's like
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
time.
I ended up with an
So,
extra turkey this
are
year.
we going to move on to DraftKings now?
Yeah, I'm actually doing my tournament. So if one of you guys want to start, I think I'll
All
be
right.
ready to go here.
Start off with a cash lineup. Do you want to start, or do you want me to?
You know what? I actually only have a cash lineup right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, I was going to make a tournament.
Well, go ahead and throw out
lineup.
your cash, and then you can see if you can put a.
What were your guys'
tournament.
cash scores last week? I forgot.
He beat me by like 6. That's what I remember. So.
I did do that.
Everybody stepped up their game.
Well, it was a high scoring week, so the averages were very high last week.
Gotcha.
Oops, wrong one.
Do you guys remember?
I got it. So it's like 161 to 167 on our side, but I'm looking
Just look at
for
your
the-
recent.
Here we
go.
165.88 for cash. And my tournament was 142.66.
Brian.
Oh, I misremembered. Okay, so 139.78 cash.
Oh, I destroyed you.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I
wow.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I had a 160, but I did not.
No, you didn't. That was me.
Okay, go ahead and give us your cash lineup, Brian.
All right, oops, there we go. Cash lineup.
And a new leader.
Yes, yeah, you definitely took the lead with that one
Yep.
for a short time. Okay, so we've got at quarterback. I think the obvious play is Justin Fields, 7,600. He's just not priced high. He's not a high enough price yet. Like he should be over 8,000. So he seems like a good choice there. I'm gonna go ahead and run him alone with no targets because like his value is on his legs, not on his arm. So running back, we're gonna go with Saquon Barkley, best play on the slate for running back, I think. And then I'm going to go Alvin Kamara. A little bit of
That's
a
a
twist
gamble.
there. Yeah, a little bit of a twist there. But
He is due.
and against the Rams and at home, I think that's a good spot.
The Rams aren't going to run away from them, so he should get opportunities.
I think so too. And I couldn't spend the extra $400 to get to Dalvin Cook, so or else I would have. At wide receiver, I've got Paris Campbell. I think he's a pretty good cash game guy. Like he's guaranteed, 5 catches. I think. CD Lamb, like I say, in the slot there, he against Minnesota. It's hard. It's hard to see how he can't have a good game, if not a great game. So. And then I got Ben Skowronek. I think Skowronek is going to have another guy that's going to have at least 5 or 6 catches. I just don't see a world in which he doesn't have at least that. And at 3,900, you know what I mean? Like he's going to pay off if he gets 5 catches, and if he gets a touchdown, oh my God, he's amazing. So I think it's a good play there. I'm going to save my tight end because I'm not proud of that one. And we'll go do flex.
Who's your tight end?
All right, my tight end is a punt play for the stone minimum of 2,500. I am going to go with Stoll, the unproven backup for Goddard in Philadelphia. I figure he's got to get at least 3 or 4 catches, 5 or 6 targets in that offense.
That's a dart throw, sir.
Yeah, it is a dart throw, and like I say, he is completely unproven.
That is a punt play.
But and yeah, like I said, but I think he has a chance for a chance for a touchdown, and probably gonna have 4 or 5 catches.
Okay.
My flex, I've got Robinson. We talked about
Allen?
Brian
Robinson. Okay.
Yeah. We talked about Robinson earlier, running against Houston. Like the way that offense seems to have shifted for Washington, I'd find it hard to believe that Robinson does not have a good game.
What the hell was that?
And then
Still connected. I should disconnect myself.
and then for the DST for the defense, Steelers just at 2,300 versus Cincinnati is just stupid cheap. Like we talked about it earlier with TJ Watt back. Like they are going to get sacks. They're going to get some points there. Like for 2,300, absolute steal.
All right. Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah. So personally, I think there were some questionable decisions there in your cash lineup.
Okay. No, I went for some.
The stole one. Yeah.
I went for some absolute superstars.
You did.
And
You did.
and took some chances to get them in my lineup. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to take less chances, but there's going to be some overlap in our cash lineup for sure. I'm taking Justin Fields at 7,600. He's still underpriced.
Yep.
Also taking Saquon Barkley. I'm going to at my other running back spot, $6,700. Ramondre Stevenson to me is still underpriced. At wide receiver, my wide receiver options are going to be cheap this week.
Have to be.
Paris Campbell at 4,300. Chase Claypool at 4,800 to pair with my Justin Fields play. Now, this is, for me...
that's an overpriced
this
chance, in my opinion.
This is my punt play of the week.
That's a punt? Okay.
Well, it's my puntiest play,
All right.
I feel like. And, for a punt play, $4,800 it can be considered a lot.
It's a little high, yeah.
But I didn't really want to make any punt plays like the one that my, co-host here just made. So
The winning play?
So I like Chase Claypool. I like what they're doing with him, giving him opportunity. I feel like a big play is just around the corner, and I'm going to bet on it this weekend against the Falcons because the Falcons, they stink. Also at wide receiver at
I wanna put another
$5,500
bet on the board, but go
I've
ahead.
got Adam Thielen. We talked about him earlier. I think that Trayvon Diggs is going to spend a bunch of time on Justin Jefferson, and so I think that's going to open things up for Adam Thielen. I do expect him to score this weekend. At tight end for $4,300, I've got Dalton Schultz, who since Dak has come back has been exactly what people drafted him to be at the beginning of the year. In my flex, I've also got Brian Robinson. I just expect him to have a monster game against Houston. I expect him to have 20 plus carries. I expect him to find the end zone. I expect him to have more than 100 yards.
Yeah, too good a play.
Yeah, and then at $2,300, this feels like a steal. I've got the Steelers at home against the Bengals.
I believe I mentioned that. Yeah.
So
you can tell by our two lineups there's some definite overlap as far as the
and
most
we
popular
don't get
plays
together
this
and
week.
make these lineups
Oh,
at
no.
all.
Oh, no.
At all.
Very much rivalry in these lineups. We don't help each other.
Yes. He's very much responsible for paying for my dinner tonight.
I did. Wasn't happy about it, but I did.
All right, so going up with I have on the cash game the Jones from New York Giants, Patterson with Atlanta, Singletary with Buffalo,
Singletary's a good one.
Higgins with Cincinnati, Lamb with Dallas, Moore with Carolina, Hawkinson with Minnesota, Jefferson with the Los Angeles Rams, and this was just because I ran out of budget. I went with the Colts with their defense. So maybe Philly will skunk it. I don't know. We'll see.
They were the minimum.
They were 2,200.
Yeah, minimum. That's there wasn't a 2,000 defense this week.
Yeah. And for my tournament lineup, Jones again with Barkley, Swift from the Giants, Moore again with Carolina, Slayton with the Giants, St. Brown with Detroit, Wright with Detroit. I picked Mooney as my flex, and then Saints.
So he's stacking that Lions.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lions Giants game, which I feel like is one of the fancy bonanza games of the week.
I was going to say, I'm actually a little disappointed because his tournament lineup is kind of similar to mine.
All right, well then it won't be anything like mine, and I'll give it to you right now.
Sweet.
My tournament lineup this week, I've got Dak at $6,600. I got Dalvin Cook at running back. I've got Dalvin Cook at $8,000. With him, I've got Brian Robinson at $5,300. At wide receiver, stacking with Dak, I've got CeeDee Lamb at $7,500. I've got Darius Slayton at $5,000, and somehow Garrett Wilson is $4,900 still. That I don't understand. That seems really too low because without scoring, He's scored 17 plus PPR points in the last 2 games that he's played in. Dalton Schultz is just, to me, seems like the best tight end play that you can make this week. Like, he's good value, and he's gonna get enough work. At my flex for $5,200, I've got George Pickens, and then I'm gonna start the Commanders defense at $3,100.
All right, definitely stacking up that Dallas game there.
Oh yeah,
All right. And like I said, I went with Daniel Jones, same as Ray. Like I think Daniel Jones is a good tournament lineup quarterback this week. I would not put him in cash because Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. Like you don't want to rely on him like that. But putting him in a tournament lineup to where maybe if he goes off, this is the week he goes off, then hey, like I like that. And against Detroit, the worst defense in the NFL, like it seems possible this week. So. Going with Daniel Jones, gonna put him with Slayton there. Gonna partner those two up. On the other side, I'm gonna go with Jamal Williams. So that's my comeback on that side. Going with a different game, we're gonna stack Jonathan Taylor as my running back on one side, and on the Philly side, we'll go with Jonathan Stoll. Our punt play tight end once again, just in case. Wide receiver, again going with that Detroit game. I've got going with a different game here. I'm gonna go with Jefferson. I saved some money in some other spots, so I think Jefferson might be a low percentage play against the Dallas defense. And the Dallas defense is only 20th. Like you do have you do have Diggs maybe following him. I get that, but it's Jefferson, man. Like if he has 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, and I get him at 5%, like that is one hell of a tournament play. Skoranek, I think, is like a really safe play at 3,900. Like it's just hard to get away from him.
he made fun of us so bad when we brought his name up a few weeks ago.
Dude, he turned into something else.
I know.
I've got CeeDee Lamb in my flex, and I've got my Steelers as my defense.
Hey, all right.
I think with that, everybody, we don't have any questions to follow up on. Do you guys have anything else you want to add tonight?
Just that everybody should have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Appreciate you guys listening.
It is a holiday week next week. Are we still going to be able to get together on Friday for
I
everybody?
don't see
still
why
down.
not. I'm off all week.
Okay. So we'll still get together on Friday next week, and we'll go over those turkey games and see how everyone did.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring some food in, some leftovers.
Just
Have a little. You know.
I'll introduce you to the green bean.
Yeah,
thing.
we can. We can just skip dinner. We can just skip dinner next week and then bring dinner here. Have like a
before the game.
Thanksgiving
We'll
meal.
see how
before we
things
start.
go.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm down with that.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Be safe.
Peace out, everybody.
See ya. Thanks for tuning in.